Hello, hello. Welcome back, everybody, to another Fuel Esports broadcast. It's a beautiful, nice Tuesday today. The weather's actually been a lot nicer than the last couple days for sure, so always excited. I'm Nude. I'm joined by Elson. We got some Valorant action today. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. You're right. The weather has been very nice. It's supposed to be very nice for the rest of the week, actually. So I'm praying it stays like that. And you know what? I'm also hoping to see. I'm hoping to see what we got on, who is playing tonight, our roster. And here we go. I mean, you know them, you love them. Sayo, Chunky, Woody, Dre, and Denai. I'm very excited to see. I mean, they've played fantastic last week, and I'm hoping that they keep that going.
Yeah, right. We're fresh in the new season. As if we take a look at those standings, right, we'll see. This is Division A, right? So this is some of the highest gameplay. Fuel 1-0. So is George. Washington. So it's a battle of the Titans of early here. Chatting with the players, they seem to be pretty confident going into this one, right? They're not at all worried, and we're interested. Chunky, brand new player coming to the team. He seemed to have slotted in quite well last week. So we'll see if they can continue that success that they had from last one. I'm sure we're all expecting them to.
Yeah, I mean, Chunky did very well. We got a quick little interview with him last night. He plays. He usually doesn't play Initiator. He usually plays Duelist, as you saw, but that's what he's been playing. He's been playing Initiator, mainly Sova, and I can't remember the other one he said.
I saw him play a lot of Sky.
Yeah, it was Sky and
from
Sova is who he's going to be playing. He said it's a little bit to get used to, but he's doing a good job for sure. I mean, I'm very excited to see. They played well last week. If they do what they did last week, we're probably going to hopefully, win again. But it's going to be a tough opponent. Like you said, they also won last week.
Yeah, and I heard quite a dominant win as well. I think it was like 13-0, 13-1, 2 maps. So it's not going to be an easy one for Fuel here, right? It's a tall task. But yeah, an initiated player is really something this Fuel team has needed, right? Last semester, we saw, Dre ended up having to flex over towards it. He's definitely more of a Sentinel player, right, through and through. For sure. They didn't really have a true initiator player. They had a lot of duelists. You'll be seeing, Denai as well. Like he's going to be pulling out the waylay, that Yoru, right? You'll see SEO pulling out those oppers, right? He'll be playing that Jet. He'll be playing that Raze on Bind. We'll have to see as it's going to be, going into this one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just excited to see what's all about. But before that, we are going to take a short little break, so we will see you after that.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this week's Fuel Esports Weekly Update. It's been quite the week to kick off the season, so let's recap how it went and what's coming up soon. Last Monday, students joined us for chess in Forwell Hall. We recently brought back Fuel Esports Chess, and we're happy to continue to support the chess community here at Fanshawe. There'll be one more chess event for the season on March 16th, which we'll talk more about in a couple of weeks. We're also a part of the Fanshawe Winter Festival on Wednesday, where you came out and ranked your favorite video games in our community tier list. You can still change some pieces on the board by coming to the Fuel Station in J2018. Want to work with Fuel Esports and the FSU? Want to try career in broadcasting or content creation? We've still got open work study positions for on-air talent and videographers. Interested? Apply today at fsu.ca/jobs. The first week of regular season competition saw some interesting matchups, including the launch of the new Fuel Esports TFT. We also saw Fuel Esports Rocket League face off against St. Clair College, where they would take the reigning CRL champions to a Game 5, unfortunately falling short in a 2-3 loss. Want to see more competition? You can find us live every night this week at twitch.tv/FanshawFuel. You can also find our VODs on our YouTube channel and on Rogers TV on Channel 13. This Wednesday, we'll be at the downtown London campus for Wind Down Wednesday. We'll have pop-up setups of various console games for you to enjoy between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. We look forward to seeing you there. And on February 15th, we'll be hosting a Valentine's Duos Fortnite tournament in the Fuel Esports Discord. You can register as a solo or a duo by joining us at fsu.ca/discord. And finally, the Fuel Station will be closed for Reading Week starting February 14th. We'll reopen the following week with regular hours resuming on February 23rd. And that's all for this week. Enjoy your Reading Week, and we'll see you later for the next Fuel Esports Weekly Update.
Shining bright. Don't need no drinks when I can vibe with you. Don't need no green when I can fly with you. These lights are falling down on us right now, and you're still shining just can't get enough. Pull me out the dust, then you take me higher. This that love that don't expire, no. I got that undivided love, divided love. 'Cause I will risk it all, oh, 'cause you're my fireball. You won't need to grow when you can fly away with me.
And we are in with this first map bind here. I believe it's Fuel's pick as pistol round on the way. Vito here for Fuel. You know, we haven't seen much Vito, right? He just, you know, he wasn't really played at all, I believe, in last semester as he wasn't available. So we're seeing him a lot, though. His character very strong. Gunfight maybe here from Woody just taking these peaks, but it does look to be an A play here for Fuel. All 5 members stacked up in A main. This player in U-Haul is going to get flooded out, but you know, a nice molly there from the brim is going to, you know, burn a lot of time off the clock. Nice U-Haul fight here. Seeing if Woody can win it. These jump right clicks, but Yorgihu does get traded out by Aiden. It's a 1-for-1 with some good chip onto Precious K here inside that smoke. Just getting these spams as much as possible, but a nice flashbang from the Yoru finds 2, but another trade.
Nicely done by Sayo. Just calm aim right there. I mean, there's 2 people that are completely blinded, but right out of that blind, headshot, nicely done. And I mean, it is a 2v2, but it is a post-plant situation, so a good job for Fuel. I mean, they do now know where one of the players are.
Eho clearing out with those missiles. Nice flash from SEO to try to get some contact. Does end up getting the 3rd kill with the Ghost. Now it's a 1v2 for this Teho. He has no utility, and he's forced to play against across here. SEO and Dre holding as best as possible, and it does seem like time is on the side of Fuel, but it's a 1 versus 1. It's just going to be some damage done as Dre is going to take that one and bring Fuel 1-0, winning that pistol round.
I mean, great job. That's exactly how you want to play a post plant. You don't need to do anything unless the other team goes, right? Dre is just going to sit in that corner, and even if he dies, right, Sayo is going to be there to bring him back. And I mean, great job there. You just got to play for those picks. Once you're up someone too, especially when it's a 2v2, if you're up 2v1, that's your game. You just gotta play for picks, play off. Just hear them tap the spike, but they know they probably weren't going to get it off. They're trying to get those kills at the end. So I mean, good job by Fuel, seeing them go all A, which they don't normally do. Usually they kind of like to go A and B. They like to see both sides of the map first.
Yeah, they like to play a split map for sure, as well as, you know, sometimes they'll, you know, it's weird to not see, or rare rather, to not see, you know, any showers investment whatsoever on this map. As you will see, it looks to be another A play. SEO with the Marshall. That's an Outlaw is going to pick up 1. Gray with the Bulldog finds 2 here in showers. And now, I mean, A site is just completely open wide for Fuel here on their on this buy round right there. Just going to wipe the floor here. A Bucky from Aiden is going to pick off Yorgihu. And now it's just Divinity left alone, trying to see if he can get any damage done, but he doesn't have any Headhunter bullets. He's just with a classic. Aiden sitting close, swings out with that Bucky, but Woody will find it with the Spectre instead. And Fuel flawless there on their buy. Now we'll see how this bonus goes.
I mean, a great job there. You can see what happens with the Bulldog, right? Dre has that Bulldog because of that win from the first round, and he uses it to the full advantage, right? Gets an easy pick, peeks that corner knowing there's someone right there, and another pick to put him up 1. Everyone's kind of won their ones that they were supposed to, went in the side of them. But I mean, that's what happens if you can win that first round and then kind of a little force buy there. Great job. Just keeps the pressure on George Washington. I mean, they're just gonna crumble there. It's really tough, especially when you're outgunned. Now, they are both going to have a lot of Vandals and a lot of Phantoms, as we're going to see here.
This is the crucial round here. You'll see George Washington with their own full buy. Fuel going to keep with that they had, right? It's a full bonus here. No one lost any guns, so no investment here for Fuel. So we'll see who ends up coming out on top. You know, it looks like, again, it's going to be mostly A over here. Aiden. Util instead of shooting the gun there. A double dash into the back, but he does not go where he wants to, as Woody also falls. Aiden trying to get as much, you know, attention on him as possible, so Woody can maybe swing out, but just doesn't end up having that. There is a player still covering A main here. Gray finds one with the Bulldog, so it's, you know, it's a 4 versus 3 here now. It's not completely doomed. Yorgi over towards Shower is going to get these classic smokes down very, very late into the round as Gray looks for something here. He will be able to pick up a Vandal here. Instead picks up the Bucky because he wants to take the U-Haul fight. Nobody's going to be here. Precious K picks off SEO. It's a 2 versus 4. TP back from Divinity. They're going to give as much, you know, control the site as possible as Fuel. Just play for this retake here. Fuel, instead of going for it, they're going to take this TP. Chunky with a nice flash so he can get through. Dre with 3 for the round.
Yeah, I mean, a great job. You saw that pick comes right through the teleporter. They know exactly where Dre is, but still, Dre outguns them, and this is going to be tough, though. They are stuck in hookah. Or can they get it down? And a nice kill there by Chunky. This is crucial. And now it's a 2v1, and Dre is going to get this plant off, and they kind of switch positions here, right? Oh my goodness.
What a one tap there from Precious K. It's a 1 versus 1. The gun advantage in the favor. I believe they're actually even. That's a Phantom here for Chunky. But Precious K finds a 4, okay, in that round and will clutch it up. But that was a very, very successful bonus there for Fuel. You know, they get 4 guns off the table, and they do a lot of damage there, almost winning that one. Precious K playing the 1v2 beautifully.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you saw right there at the end as well, he picked up a Phantom. A lot of people have been opting for a Phantom. I've been seeing a lot more this act now. I'm not sure if the meta switched a bit more to the Phantom or if a lot of these players are just more comfortable with it and they kind of like it, but I'm kind of enjoying to see a lot more diverse. I feel like a lot of the times it was kind of like 8 out of the 10 players were usually having Vandals, and maybe like 1 or 2 would have a Phantom. I'm seeing it kind of more 50-50 or 60-40 even. Like, so it's very interesting to see. But yeah, Fuel, although they lost that, they did very well and kind of got unlucky. A nice headshot, as we saw from Precious. I mean, very impressive to seal that clutch there at the end. But, I mean, it just shows how this game can switch so quickly.
SEO in trouble here. You know, seized up inside of that Teo nade, but Dre will find 2 trades there. Aiden finds 2 on the side. I mean, he just pushes through A main and picks off 2. And now, I mean, George Washington, it's Divinity who's been the B player, but he's just always a second too late on this rotate, right? Fuel, they just flood A. You've barely seen, I mean, you haven't seen a B player yet, right? It's exclusively been A because it hasn't really stopped working here for Fuel yet. As this post plant for Fuel, they're going to be playing, you know, Woody playing close up towards CT, making sure that nothing can happen. Shots go a little wide, but Divinity will fall as Dre with that, you know, with that follow fire, with that, you know, supporting fire, will pick up his 3rd for the round.
I mean, Dre has been on fire, I'll tell you that much. I don't know how many kills he has, but it's got to be a plethora. It has so many. I mean, look at that right there. He's got 9
and
for
1
yeah,
for Dre.
Insane. Also, Chunky, again, he did this last week. He had 6 assists right there. He did this last week. He doesn't get a lot of kills, but he gets a ton of assists. That's what you need out of your initiators, right? He said that he kind of struggled with playing initiator. I think he's just struggling with the kill aspect, but he's doing his job correctly.
It's because, you know, when you come from that duelist background, right, you're expecting to get all those kills, right? You want to be able to getting these frags. So when you're playing these more assist roles, right, it feels bad when you aren't getting those kills, but you don't necessarily need to get these kills to find success. Always set up your team. A nice recall there from Aiden. Sets up Rosie Roses in trouble. Precious K with that Guardian picks off Woody with the spam through the wall. The Waylay ult comes out here for Aiden. A double dash forward. Picks off 1. SEO finds 2 in the meantime. And now, again, it's just the chamber. 1 second too late again. Fuel 4 on A site.
Yeah, I think this chamber is going to need to rotate just right away to A. You can give up B. You know, if they do go up and end up rotating, that's okay. Because you've given up A site the past 3 rounds, and it's just not possible to do that. Because now you're looking at a 4v1, and he hasn't won it yet. He hasn't even got a pick, let alone win. I mean, great job. It's just, it's tough. They're kind of steamrolling them on A, and now I'm going to see if they kind of change up who stays at A, or if they rotate earlier. And it looks like Fuel is going to go for this B site push, which I really like. I was thinking the exact same thing, right? You kind of been to A a lot. Maybe let's put a few people B, but they're faking me out.
No, because you know what they think, right? The other team's thinking, okay, they've gone A 7 times. They must go B by now. But
yes,
Fuel, they're right back there. But George Washington has read this. You know, it's 4 players on A. Yet again, they've been playing this 4-1 stack. You know, as soon as you hear noise, Chamber just has to rotate. I think
he's looking to do a flank
here. He's looking
here
to do the TP, but he has to be careful, right? Because you know, they will be able to hear this as Aiden does pick off Precious K. Aiden finds a 2nd, and the Chamber is just again too late. He's now rotating through CT, but his team has already fallen, already had to give up so much pressure on the A site. The dog comes out. Aiden finds his 3rd for the round. Chunky keeps his team nice and healthy here. Molly towards CT. Yorgi does pick off 2, though, with that cross from U-Haul. You know, gets a nice swing out. SEO, though, finds the clean. And now it's this Chamber in a 3 versus 1 here. Does have, you know, that Headhunter if he wants it. But he's going to take this first contact here with SEO. As soon as the smoke fades, does he expect this? He's going to have to walk through it, though. And SEO just beautifully played there, sitting inside of that corner, making sure not to give up any space whatsoever, because if he falls, it doesn't really matter.
I mean, how many times have we seen that exact same circumstance? The past 4 rounds now, that Chamber is just by himself. They need to change something up, whether it's the personnel that's on A, maybe it's putting all 5 of them on A and kind of giving up B. Now they're looking to put 2 people on B so they can have a 2-person retake if they go A again. They just need to change up something.
Yeah, you can't be sitting these 4 stacks because you've been losing these first duels every time, right? Aiden or Dre has just been winning these first duels, have always got these first kills. Aiden in the showers has been honestly unstoppable so far. You do hear the ultimate from Chamber come out, does have that off. It's going to be quite an aggressive round here for the side of George Washington because they need to stop this bleeding, but Aiden again gets the better of the Waylay duel. Precious K falls, and it's a 4 versus 5 here for Fuel advantage. The your ult comes through just to get as much info as humanly possible. Aiden drops back towards backside here, just trying to get as much spam off as possible. DeVrady's here. Does he know that Kutch is here as well, though? It does seem like he sniffed this one out, but he will get stunned up. Chunky does find Rosie Roses, but he gets traded. It's a 2 versus 3 here for George Washington, but the health, your sky's low. Plant will get naded out a little bit by Teo here. Chunky falls as well off of the splash damage from it, just sitting in the corner. 2 versus 2. But, the side of George Washington, your Brim is low, but the Brim ult comes out, clears out as much space as possible. This duel inside of showers was crucial. Woody loses out, and now it's up to Dre, who pulls out his own ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be tough, though. It's a 2v1 and a nice pick there from Clutch through the smoke there. I mean, that was really tough. Woody knew where that player was too. I think you got to get that kill. I mean, I love Woody. I'm always talking and hyping up Woody all the time. But that is just an unfortunate event. You need to get that kill. That's kind of the second time we've seen Woody kind of miss a little freebie there.
Have to get those kills for sure.
I agree. I mean, it's tough. A lot of assists though. Again, Chunky and Woody are doing a lot of the assists. I mean, Deny and Dre are doing a lot of the kills as well. CO is now coming up on that as well. But if you want to keep this pressure up, you need to get those kills, especially when you know exactly where the enemy is and they don't know where you are. You can't have them flicking on you. You got to get that.
Aiden has this Waylay ult up again last time, right? He got so much value with it. And they love to just use these on those snap plays, right? Last time it was through showers. Now it looking like it's going to be an A main. He does have his recall up. He just gets some spam as they hear the dog fall. Throws that slow. Double dash through here, but he falls right in front of the Waylay. And he swings back, gets Rosie Roses. And Woody with a good trade there, making sure to cover Aiden's engage, cover his entry there. And again, Fuel just right back in the driver's seat, right? You know what, really, the last round, you lose it because of a 4 versus 1, right? That's 2 rounds in a row where the only 2 they've lost, right? Where one of the players of George Washington finding 4 kills, right? In the clutch. Here, Touch left alive. He has to find a lot of value here if he wants any hope. Keep this one lively. Aiden will fall. It's a 1 versus 3. It's not impossible here. The positioning is favoring Fuel. Another one falls. Kutch grabs another Phantom. He gets flashed out, and a 4K for Kutch. He almost gets back-to-back clutches, but instead it's just going to be back-to-back 4Ks. And Fuel keep the lead, 6-2.
I don't know if you saw that, but I believe Chunky blinded one of his teammates actually there when he peeked out. I believe it was Dre. Dre peeked out. He got blinded by it, so that could have went very wrong, honestly. Almost a 4v1 clutch, but again, not enough. You can't keep putting your team in that situation. Again, the 5th time. Fuel has won 6 rounds, and 5 of them they've been up 4-1 on just players at the end. It's just a recipe that you're never going to win if you're George Washington. Something needs to change, and it needs to change now. But again, it's the exact same mode. I don't know why they continue to think that this attack and this defensive plan is going to work, but they keep getting picked off in showers, and they keep getting picked off if they're challenging that like mid. It's just not possible.
Showing clearly why Fuel, why this is their map pick, right? They're absolutely dominating here. Rosie Roses uses this, dimensional drift to try to get as much info as possible, gets these pings down, but they're so low, and they're going to come out. But with the Teo ult there from Koch, a nice play from the side of George Washington, right? You use your low HP Yoru, you send them in as, just an info, right? It's basically just a better dog. And then once they know that they're there, they're kind of body blocking, you send that Teo ult in, you get the 2 kills there from Koch, who is really coming up. You see, a very strong, that's the sacrifice play, right? And it works fantastically there from the side of George Washington, as this is their first round where they've really had a clean victory.
Yeah, I mean, if they do get this,
Yeah,
right, the
Dre
round's
is
not over,
possible,
but
that DP, and that's an ace for Kutch there, who has really come up. I mean, that's
it's honestly
14 kills in the last 3 rounds.
I mean, it's technically 6 kills there because he did kill his own team there.
Oh, you know what? That 5 is because of the team kill. Never mind. I don't believe it is a 6. Is it a 6? I don't know.
But anywho,
yeah, that one though, that's 14 kills in the last 3 rounds for Kutch, really turning it up and showing, George Washington not here to be scared as this timeout, coming out Fuel, they've lost 2 in a row. They don't want to keep, or they lost 1, but Scamp just wants to make sure that his team is confident because that last round, they really did just get overwhelmed.
Yeah, I would definitely that's a smart timeout. Maybe I would have kind of waited 1 more round, but maybe he saw something very crucial and very important that he needed to tell them right away before it gets out of hand. Because I mean, they have double the score as them, right? They have double the amount of wins right now. It's 6-3. You can win the last 3 handily. I mean, 9-3 curse, but let's put that aside. If you're up, 6 rounds on them going into now defending, I think you're sitting a lot more comfortably, right? You might as well use that timeout if you truly believe it's going to benefit you a lot. And I think it's good, right?
Trying to break up the momentum of George Washington as well, because they could easily get this one back to a 6-6, right? And that could really spell, a little bit of doom for Fuel here. Kutch, definitely the player to watch from the side of George Washington. If Fuel needs to shut him down because he's been so lethal in these clutches, in these late rounds, and we'll see how this ends up playing out as we're heading in, seeing what Fuel may have cooked up off of that pause. Expecting a set play, right? Expecting something fancy here. Wele dashes in through U-Haul, a slow, but he just backs on out. Now he's completely utilist. But what this does is it's for the Brim ult, right? He slows him down, he gets the Brim ult down, but Kutch is waiting. Aiden thinking that U-Haul is fully cleared out, but it's not. Kutch now does, flashbang does not find its mark from Chunky there. Mateo nades come out, Rosie Roses gets the better of SEO, and now Fuel, they TP over towards B.
Yeah, but Dre's still here in Showers, and this is kind of where he's been living, just getting these picks on Showers as well, and in U-Haul as well. Just a great job, but they are going to rotate B for the first time. Let's see what a post plant looks like from the side of B. I mean, it's 3-3, but I like my odds as Fuel because of that post plant. You do see where Woody is there. I believe they picked off Woody. And a nice kill by Chunky. Getting picked off, but still getting 1 before he can go down is crucial. And a 2v2. Dre is on the other side, and Woody with a nice Spectre kill, too.
Now it's just Divinity in a 1v2 here. The Interceptor's up for Dre, and he's backing his wall in to Hookah. Dre will have first contact here as time is ticking down quickly here. Divinity does not find anything. Dre catches him with a slip there, and Fuel, they win that one. That's the first, I think, true post plant we've seen, right? First even post plant, especially, right? We've seen a post plant, in that 2v1
and like 4v1s. There's been a
4v1s,
lot of
but those
4v1s.
are those are more so, you get the plant down and then you just kind of run at the guy.
Yeah, you just you either run out or you just both wait and just everyone just watches the same kind of point. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. It's the first time we've seen a post plant, and I mean they did very well, especially Woody with the Spectre. They just got their picks and narrowed it down because that's what you need to do, especially as someone that's like as you're playing a post plant, you don't need to do anything. You can just sit there and just wait.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this next round goes. Just Fool, they break up that economy just a little bit, right? They break that momentum. Divinity does find Dre, finds his second for the game. Precious K finds another as well, finds 2 in the side of Garden. This is the first time Fuel has gone on B. Maybe we're seeing why they haven't, right? Because it looks like George Washington had their number read. Aiden, 1v3 left alone inside of Tube here. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place, and he will end up falling to Yorgi Hu. Gets that spam kill off of that Teo drone. Fuel, they instantly lose that one extremely quickly, and now this is final round, right? In this half, Fuel's economy is not there.
No, I mean, it's not great. They haven't been doing fantastic the last few rounds, but they still did get a win after that timeout. I think, again, if Fuel can really get this, is what I talked about last week when I was with Dragon. This is a big difference maker right here. Going in 5-7 compared to 4-8 is huge in my opinion, right? Getting this win on Fuel is going to be massive. Buy everything you can. Obviously, their eco isn't amazing, but this is, in my opinion, like probably the second biggest round so far. That biggest round was probably round 3, and then now this round here.
Yeah, on this B long play. You know, they push out that chamber. Divinity taking a lot of damage there, forced to TP out, which means Fuel, you know, they kind of have full B control now. And the side of George Washington have not responded. They're just going to look to play, I imagine, the TP at this point. Fuel will have the advantage here as you see the dog coming through Hookah. You see two players over towards Garden. Divinity hindered, back sight flashed up as the TPs come out. The contact inside of Hookah is going to be crucial here for the side of Fuel if they want any hope at stopping this one. But Rosie Roses picks off Chunky. Aiden finds two, though, as he keeps the pressure going. But he's down to 6 HP. He gets Teonated. But Kutch finds that one. But SEO finds Divinity, and it's a 3 versus 1 here. Yorgi who walks into the waiting arms of SEO as Fuel take an 8-4 half.
I mean, a great job. You can see all the smiles on their face, except for Seo. He doesn't really like to smile very often, but I mean, that's just him. He likes to just chill, be very cool, calm, and collected. Everyone's very excited. Again, that was a very crucial win right there, and they did it very handily as well. Also, going B, showing that they're capable of going to both sides, which I really like because, you know, heaven forbid this goes into an overtime. Now they don't just have that fear of just A site. Remember when we pushed B that one time? We can do that again, right? Just kind of showing their opponent that they're able to do anything. They're kind of able to mix up most of it. And as you can see on the leaderboard, I mean, very top-heavy for the side of George Washington.
Top-heavy for, honestly, you know, both teams, right? The top 3 here for the side of Fuel versus the top, you know, 1, maybe 2, right? Precious K, you know, had that 1-4K. But outside of that, right, still, it's almost all in Kutch right now, right? Someone has to start to get some assistance towards him as this pistol. Divinity finds the first, but Chunky finds a nice trade onto Rosie Roses as Aiden forces Precious K to use that rewind inside of Showers. He keeps this going. He is Teonated, but he's just out of it. Will Precious K know this? He knows he has to be here. The jumping right clicks, but it doesn't matter as Divinity finds another pick with that Hunter. CO spamming through this smoke from heaven, but he does take a lot of damage. He's down to 64. It's just him and Dre left alive, but these two are the ones that really found the the mark in last pistol round. But it does seem like George Washington are in a handed lead here to take this pistol round as they do, and that's a big swing of momentum here because that pistol round, right, it can often snowball into 3 rounds, 4 rounds, even more.
I mean, we saw Fuel do the exact same thing. They won the first round, then they won the second round. I mean, lost the third, but then won the fourth, won the fifth, right? And that's how it starts. It starts with that one, get your eco up, right? I think, you know, it was very good for the side of George Washington. I mean, they played very well. They showed what they can do on attack, and they kind of showed exactly what Fuel was doing the whole time. Just very dominant, pushing through, getting their picks, and then as soon as they kind of get 1-2 picks through, just push onto site, get that plant down, and then make them come to you. Great job. I mean, I want to see how Fuel reacts to it, but George Washington should honestly do the exact same thing they did last round, but it looks like they're going to kind of switch it up a little bit.
They showed a lot of what their comms looking to do, especially towards Showers, right? That Waylay will go in, then get that rewind, force, one of the players of Fuel to go a little too deep, and they throw the Teonades, right? They clear out Showers as best possible. Aiden picks off Precious K, though, with a nice headshot from the Sheriff as this B play from the side of George Washington may have been slowed down a little bit, right? 2 players in Hookah, but they are smoked off here by the Brimstone of Fuel, by Woody. They do look to flood out of Hookah here, though. Nice smoke as well over towards Elbow. Forces Aiden to not be able to play as the Bucky spams through the smoke to go wide. Aiden, a nice timing here. He picks off 1. He TP's back. Kutch and Divinity found 2. It's a 2 versus 3 here for his post plant.
Yeah,
but actually, they don't get the spike down.
No, not yet. I mean, great job, but he's going to pick up this Vandal, which now it gets into this murky territory where gun difference is going to be huge, right? You're going to have some people with Vandals and Phantoms, and you're going to have some people that just have, a Sheriff or something even worse than that. Kutch is just getting these kills, but a nice job.
Nicely traded with those pistols there, right? They find that cross. Aiden goes in, tries to get some value going, but he does end up falling as the flashbang did not didn't blind them for just long enough where he, once he dashes in, he gets stopped. But he does do, they break up that bonus. They end up, winning that anti-eco there. And now they're in a very, very good spot here. George Washington, their money is going to be in a little bit of problems, right?
Yeah, I mean, 9-5, not an ideal spot, especially because you were just starting off attacking and you're kind of trying to get used to that, right? It's kind of, I feel like sometimes you feel good going straight from attacking to defense or, vice versa, but sometimes it's that slow change, right? You were kind of set, you were in a rhythm, and now that rhythm shifted, and who can adapt to it best? And it's looking like they're all going to go B long here, yeah.
Yeah, Chunky going to be the only player, kind of somewhat towards this garden here. Aiden, though, picks off Clutch. That's the main fragger so far for the side of George Washington. His dog finds a lot of info, right? Sees 2 people there. There's 2 more, and they flood into sight. Fuel going to have to play this retake here as they give up a lot of sight. The plant goes down. We'll see how, George Washington plays their own post plant here. Folks out for Woody to try to get a little bit more, advantage, a little bit more pressure here. 2 players, though, backside in CT here are going to swing into Woody. But Woody and Aiden team up, pick off Precious K. Aiden now holds this corner, does find Rose Rose. A good trade from Yorgi, who finds 2 here, as Vrinity as well found 1. But Woody up on top of this box will find another as Chunky trades off to Vrinity, and Fuel win another round.
I mean, right there, that is exactly why, some people, watching at home or someone might be like, oh, they're the bottom of the leaderboard. They're not getting a lot of kills. They're not doing whatever. Not everyone can get kills. They just clutched up in a very crucial match right there. Chunky and Woody, the bottom of the leaderboard, but they just did exactly what they need to do. They had their duelists get those kills, and then they play off of those picks. Fantastic job by them. I mean, great job just all around from the side of Fuel, just playing very calm and composed that whole time. But also, George Washington, some of that gunplay I'm watching here, I mean, who was it? Yorgi?
Yeah, Yorgi,
yeah. Those... Oh my God, those head taps were disgusting with the
Sheriff.
Sheriff.
Very disgusting, right?
It's scary. We haven't seen, George Washington, honestly, with a lot of Vandals and Phantom because they've kind of been like, their eco hasn't been fantastic. Get them a few more better weapons and you might start seeing a bit more of a more intense gameplay, right?
It's not really been a weapon. It's not really been an aiming difference here, right? It's mostly been the game plans, right?
Yes.
For Fuel's attack, they just got A for free 6 rounds in a row, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very hard to come back from that if you're George Washington. You're not going to be able to take too much out. But when when they're in these gunfights, they aren't getting super, super diffed, right? Some plays, Aiden and Ray have found some advantage, but Precious K has found a lot. Obviously, Kutch has found a lot. You've seen Divinity find some shots as well. You've seen Yorgi. You'll see this Huko fight rather. Divinity just playing as far back as possible. The dog comes out. He does shoot it. He backs into a corner. Aiden and Chunky swing aggressively. Chunky finds that as SEO has the op in his hand. We talk a lot about the SEO op, right? As he finds his pick. Kutch, though, picks off Aiden. 2 versus 4 here. The spike is down inside of, roughly around A main, right? A lobby here. We'll see as the side of George Washington that it'll be running right back towards it. They're going to be able to pick this one up.
30 seconds
as
left.
2 players for Fuel over towards A, 2 towards B. They're not trying to give up any space.
No, you just got to do this. You just got to have this, right? Because it's technically whichever site they decide to go to, it's a 2v2, right? And then they're going to have to come in another wave of a 2v2. Right, I really like this play from them, just waiting. It's their move. They have to plant. They have less than 10 seconds now, and they got to do it. I mean, they're showing their true colors here, going on to A and a nice pick, and I don't think you're going to be able to get the bomb down. It doesn't matter because Dre gets those 2 picks at the end.
Time was just not on their side. It took so long for that rotate, right, to even get towards situation that as soon as, first gunfight happens, if one of you falls, it's pretty much doomed because you're forced to stick that plant as Fuel go up 11. They're 2 rounds, away from that 13 here as the side of George Washington really, really have to win this one. But their guns are not in favor.
No, not at all. And I mean, you can see even if Fuel loses this, they're still going to be able to buy it next, right? They're going to need to keep this pressure up because it looks like George Washington is just kind of going to be in eco hell for a little bit here as long as Fuel can keep this round and the next one, going well. Because then they're just going to win, right?
Very aggressive swing there from Aiden. Does end up getting picked up by Rose Roses. Precious K as well finds another. So that's 2 guns available to be picked up from the side of George Washington. SEO here with the op. He gets smoked out. He has to play very aggressive, but nice flick from Precious K there. We'll get the 3rd there for the side of George Washington and Fuel. They're down to a 2v5 retake here. Woody is here, but Dre is on the flank. He's looking around from attacker's spawn, right? He's on T side here. He's looking. I guess something. Woody is in backside from CT. They're doing this pincer play here. Dre has to find some value. Woody finds a spam kill. Trinity, no info whatsoever. He's going to fall, but he actually decided Dre plays a little bit too slow. He says, I don't want that kill. He wants to wait. But the TP from Divinity finds a lot of info. Side of George Washington, they're going to be happy with that one because it could have been doom or gloom. But instead, Dre, he faces into the chamber TP's out, but then he still gets the kill, but then there's a player from back who ends up stopping that play. George Washington realized, we don't really have any info on this veto. And the best play they could probably make would be one player come from attacker, one player come from CT, see if they could try to get a pincer play going.
Yeah, and I mean, they expected it and they got it. Only one person went down, and Dre almost didn't even get that kill at the end there, getting a little too close. He wants so much info, and I mean, you can just see Fuel's being super aggressive even when it comes to defense, and it was working out for a bit here, but right now, they're kind of slowing down.
Beowulf invested here. Dre, nice late kill, as well as Woody, who got very, very far past, right? Walking through that smoke. Now it's 2 versus 3. The Tailwalt did not find any real value. Aiden, though, playing extremely aggressive on these early rounds, right? Dashing super, super far in as Precious K picks up 3 and clutches that round up inside of George Washington. 11-7 now, and this is within, punching distance now.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, they're only 4 rounds behind to just tie. But, I mean, they've won, what, the last 2 or 3? I think 2 now in a row. Just getting momentum on their side alone is great. Just having that morale up. And they don't even, it's not like it's a game point right now. They still have 2 to work with, right? Even if they lose 1, that's okay, as long as you keep going, right? I think if they can get to maybe 9 before losing another one, they're looking in a good spot for George Washington. But if Fuel can win this round or the next round, either one, I think they're also in a good spot. So it's just really going to come down to who can get that win first.
Fuel weaponry not in fantastic spot here as SEO has the Sheriff. He just plays one really aggressive, but there's a high-low swing there, high-low coverage from the side of George Washington. The op shot goes wide, but Precious K finds that Vandal pick, and they're starting to come online as well now, right? It's not just who's shooting. Precious K finds a third again, another triple kill here, and this round is almost just guaranteed loss here for Fuel at this point. A judge from Aiden on this retake is not going to be the easiest thing. TP out, walks right into the smoke of Precious K. Precious K going to play for the ace as they do find it. The ace on the side of George Washington, and the momentum is handedly in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about momentum, an ace, that is all the momentum you need. Even just one player alone can do a lot. We saw Kutch win games by himself. Now he kind of has a little duo, a little Batman and Robin now. Now you have someone else that is starting to feel themselves. They're starting to feel good. Even if they don't win this game, like let's say Fuel gets the next 2, you're kind of starting to
feeling
get that.
good.
Yeah, your
you're
morale is finally
better
back
going
up.
into your own map pick, especially, right? Corrode is what they want to play on. It's going to be full buys for both teams here. The money for George Washington is fantastic, though. Even if they lose this one, they'll have another full buy coming, right? They're not going to be in a little bit of trouble for this next round. Because these last 2 rounds, they've won pretty much cleanly, right? That op picks off Aiden, who has been playing, keeps on a wide swing, looking for these aggressive swings. You do see the Yord ult come out to clear out sight. Inside of Garden does get flashed out, but he picks off 2 crucial picks here from your 1v player of Mercury, the one who's playing so aggressive as the TP comes into A site, and it's Dre who's up against 3 players of George Washington. The Teo drone comes out, clears out the info. Dre is seen as Divinity finds that shot. SEO on the side gets spotted out by these Teo nades. A little tick, a little bit of poke damage there as it's a 1 versus 3 retake here for SEO. He has to win this, but that first gunfight is where it all starts.
I mean, a great job just getting that. He knows exactly where that headshot is, or it's right away. Now they're both in.
Yorwolf has that TP, has double flash. I mean, this is definitely winnable if he can get half, especially.
Pros don't fake.
Very, very
Pros
good.
don't fake.
But he's going to have to jump off as Touch understands, goes towards it, swings out, and stops Fuel, as now they're within 2.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, pros don't fake, and I like that. Honestly, I'm sticking it the whole time. And another timeout here from the side of Fuel. I mean, I guess we talked about this last week. We weren't sure if they only get 1 timeout per match or 1 timeout per half, and obviously they both.
It's 2 timeouts, I believe, total in a game usually. Yeah, 1 per half here. So Fuel pulling out their second one. George Washington has not used one, right? Even though they went down 6 rounds in a row, they were willing to just stick it out, keep up the pressure, keep it up going here. We'll see what Fuel ends up chatting about, what the plan here is, right? There has to be, a little bit of a game plan change here, right? You're really, really struggling as you're losing players. You're falling behind member-wise on these early swings, on these early round, and then later into the round, you're forced to play these clutches when really don't have to, right? I mean, maybe they just give up sight, play these retakes. Maybe they take a little bit safer of angles. Hold to wait for George Washington to make the first move, because in most of these rounds, you see Aiden making this first swing, right, playing super aggressive because he found so much success on it on the attack half, but he's really, really been struggling so far on defense here.
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of what they do most of the time. They like to play really aggressive on defense. And we haven't seen, at least I haven't seen every single match I've ever casted for Val, like last semester or this semester. No other team has taken a timeout but ours. Nobody, I don't know if anyone really likes to or knows about it, or I'm sure they know about it. They just clearly don't want to use it, but I think it's very crucial. Last week they used it and they came out and I believe they won 4 straight rounds in a row. I hope that they can find the last 2 that they're looking for after this.
Right, swinging into the op here, though, of Rosie Roses has to be very, very careful here, as he will just right back up towards Garden, towards C-Long. Divinity picks off Chunky. Aiden forced back in showers here. And it looks like it's going to be an A play from the side of George Washington. They flooded out these members, right? They found 1 pick on showers. Aiden forced to use so much util just to run away. SEO is here, though, has that TP set up towards backside. And instead, it's actually an A fake. They tried to get as much info over, but Fuel did not fall for it. 2 players have stuck towards B. Now, a nice, Grim ult's going to buy a lot of time, but Rosie Roses picks off Woody here from the flank, and it's going to be on the side of A. And they're back towards A here. George Washington keep rotating. They're not, they're not really fully committing to either site, right? They're willing to play a bit more loose. Aiden versus K. Crucial trades here. That, stuns really just don't do anything in this game, huh? As Aiden is going to find 1. Yorgi and Kutch, though, it's 3 versus 1 here. Gray forced to clutch up, but he does not find it, and the timeout does not pay dividends as Fuel fall yet again. And now George Washington are within 1.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I talked about, right? You had to find that one before it was 9-11, and now it is 10-11, and it's looking like it's going to be another win if they keep this up for the side of George Washington. They just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Fuel did a good job at working with what they had, right? They had low numbers, but they didn't rotate back and forth like George Washington wanted. But still, if you are already low, it doesn't matter, because you're going to have 5 people pushing one site. Even if you have 2 people there, they're just up numbers. And then if you go to the other site, you're just going to be up numbers. They went back and forth site to site, just getting these picks off, and then eventually when they're comfortable, picking a site that they wanted to go to and just getting an easy plant down.
We're going to play very aggressive on this defense, as they had Sheriffs, Classics, 1 Bucky, right? So they're going to be outgunned. They have to play, these aggressive, these close angles here. But 3 of them fall over towards Hookah. Now, I mean, this is just George Washington. It's a 2-person retake here for the side of Fuel, but 1 has a Sheriff. I believe the other one, I think it's 2 Sheriffs, right? Here, it's not going to be the easiest of retakes, as they know this TP is coming. Woody finds Divinity, but another fall. It's 11-11. Fuel has to find this 12th.
Yeah, I mean, that one, go through the TP. I think they're kind of just surrendering a little bit there. They know that they're probably not winning this round. Get it over with quick, right? Now they're able to buy, though. That was a little save round. Now they're able to buy, but they need this win.
This is the must-win round, because if you lose this one, you're going to be going into the last round with a very, very weak gun.
Yeah, you're going to have to
if this goes to OT, right, it's going to be a battle of who can get the first defense round.
No,
right?
for sure.
Both of these teams have been, fully successful on these attack halves, but the defense have not had the same level of success, especially George Washington later into it. Seems like they've really found their stride. They found their playbook again. They figured out what they need to do here, as Teo Kutch here looking for something, finds that drone through a main, looks to try to get these nades down.
Yeah, and I mean, you can see right now, George Washington is just looking for picks, doesn't even have the spike up yet. I mean, they're probably going to grab it in a second, but still just looking to get those in a pick they get. We're just being too aggressive for the side of Fuel here. They just want to be aggressive, because that's the mode that they play, especially you see Dre playing like that, but it isn't working, and we need to stop. It's kind of the same thing we saw in, like, when we were flipped and we were attacking, Fuel's attacking. George Washington was doing the exact same thing. 4 people on A, and they kept losing. We're being super aggressive and being spread out and losing. Why do we continue to do the same thing? I know you practice some, but it's clearly not working. We've just lost the last 4 or 5 rounds in a row. We need to change something, and now it's a 5v4, and it's not looking great.
They have to put their foot on the brakes, right? They just keep the gas pedal pressed the entire game. They do not want to give up any space to the side of George Washington, but they're going to have to at this point, as George Washington is now officially, they're winning these gunfights. Right, goes in here, stops That's blown, as well as the Waylay ult comes out. They're investing so much here towards Garden. But the side of George Washington has already gotten onto site. Woody has to find more than one here. Dre on the side, on elbow, finds two. As Trinity finds one from Hookah. He finds his third of the round. It's a 2 versus 2, but the time is in Fuel's favor. 9 seconds remain. The plant comes down. The op shot from SEO does not find its mark, as it's just a wall bang. And it's 2 versus 1 here, and they back all the way up towards Garden as the plant goes down.
I mean, he probably has ult. I'm not sure, but I'm assuming we have that Brim ult, and they're just waiting for a tap. And yep, open up the sky. He knows it's coming right now. He's going to push out, which I really like here. They're playing back. Now they're going to relocate to Hookah. This is going to be tough, but I believe Seo can do this for sure. I mean, I said pros don't fake. You might want to fake this one, but nice pick there. And now you know probably come and be long here.
Garden. He knows it's Garden. He has to be so careful. He gets the crucial half there, as he does not find the trade. He does not find the kill. And George Washington, a heartbreaker for Fuel there as they go up 12-11.
Yeah, 3 HP there, and just could not get it done from Seo there. Tough loss for Fuel. They know that they're down, and now they're going to have to force buy, but this force buy isn't looking pretty whatsoever. I mean, we're not going to have full shields, and if you have full shields, you're not going to have a Vandal or a Phantom, and if you do, you're one of the lucky ones. We're hoping that this goes into overtime if you're on the side of Fuel, but George Washington has just been non-stop, continuous pressure, and they're going to go for the exact same play before. Kind of just 3 people on A and then 2 people on B, wait, get that pick, and then decide to go for a site last minute.
Fuel has 3 ults here. You are fighting into a double op, though, on the side of George Washington. Divinity and Rosie Roses both have an op themselves, as you know, Divinity has that ultimate here, pulls it out, looking to try to find, you know, it's hard to play these long angles, right? Showers and B-long are going to be your long angles, the long sight lines that op players are going to be playing towards. But if you get into these close quarter combats, then that's when Fuel can maybe start to win. Dre, a crucial first pick. It's been a while since we've seen Fuel get the first pick of a round here, as they finally have a man advantage for what feels like ages. Waylay gets into U-Haul here, deep inside of here, as Aiden gets that slow, gets that nade, but he just forces that recall back as Precious K goes right back. Now the smokes from Fuel have timing. Aiden, nice play off of that flashbang as Precious K finds the trade, though. It's a 3 versus 4. The Vito ult comes out, the Yoru ult comes out. They see the chamber here, but Kutch ends up falling to Chunky as 2 players in U-Haul, but SEO finds it, and he's not wanting to go out without a fight. It's Divinity in a 1 versus 2. He has the op, and he has a Phantom. Spike is down over towards U-Haul. He has to get towards it. Woody will be the first one to contest. Throws that molly out to buy as much time as possible. And Dre with a nice swing from Showers, and we're going to overtime.
I mean, you see most of the time people are going to slow walk, right? You don't want to hear, like, you don't want to let your opponent hear where you're coming from. In that scenario, Woody did, right? Knew that Chunky, I believe, was on the other side of there. You just got to stall time, wait for him to come, and that's how you play a 2v1. Very good job. I mean, Fuel, very calm there, went their way, got very lucky. I mean, you saw that one of the players on George Washington was reloading when Seo came out of that ult. Yeah, to get 2 there, almost got 3, and then they came in clutch. I mean, got very lucky for it to go to overtime, but now, like you said, it's kind of the first one to win the defender side.
That's what I'm expecting here. We'll see as Fuel, they're right back up towards A lobby.
Yep, I mean, they're going to go with the patent pending, and it looks like George Washington is going to switch it up, which I'm very excited to see. They're kind of doing something new. They're going to be a bit more aggressive, kind of what Fuel does. They're going to go push along this B and look to play retake and maybe play from this this flank sort of retake as well, which I like. You got to switch something up, right? It wasn't working before.
It was not indeed. They're going to be playing, you know, for this 4-person retake. Touch just backs up, gives up the entire space. It's going to be a 5 versus 5 retake here for the side. For both teams here, Fuel, you know, they have positioning, and all players of George Washington are coming from attacker side, right? They're coming from a lobby here. They're going to be coming from a main. But 2 players of Fuel, both Woody and Aiden, have sniffed this one out. Woody has to hit that one, but she still finds 1. But 3 players for Fuel fall as Precious K just goes so aggressive. Swings out. Chunky finds 1, but it's just him alive, left alone in a 1 versus 3 here. He's stuck in Showers. He finds his 1, but Precious K gets the trade, and Fuel fall on attack.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. They're just spamming everything. They're trying to get in Fuel's head. I mean, a very good defender win. If I'm Fuel, I'm a little frustrated, especially, Woody has 4 people there, misses that headshot again. It's those crucial picks that you need. They don't know that you're there. Take your time. I mean, Dre did a great job at that before. I mean, he only got the 1 chamber, but he took as long as he could. He's really soaked that up. They weren't peeking her at all, right? You just got to wait, get 1, get 2. You need at least 2 in that circumstance, especially when they're so aggressive. And you also need to calm that as soon as possible. As soon as you see 1, calm it, right? And then get that 1 pick, look for that other one. You need to. That is why they lost. And now they're going to try to clutch something up here on the defender side, and Sayo is going to go for his op here.
Op here in Showers, pushing up really aggressive, trying to pick off Divinity. Finds the elbow of Divinity as Chunky finds 1 as well. Rosie Roses falls. A nice flashbang, finds 2, but Yorgi who sprays through that blind. Precious K down to 1 HP. SEO domes Yorgi there as it's a 1 versus 3 here, but that is a 1 HP waylay. You could throw. A gust of wind would end this one. But a nice one tap there from Precious K. I mean, even when they're this far behind, their aim is still lights out. Is so, well practiced. So lethal here. As, I said it was going to be a story of who can win the defense round. But both teams, prove me wrong. They both win their defense. We'll see which one finds the attack. Fuel. You definitely have to be careful, right? The side of George Washington may have understood your A play now, right? They found out the answer. Just play a five-person retake. You don't have to play these aggressive swings. You don't have to play, at your man at disadvantage. You can just wait.
Yeah, and it looks like Sayo is going to go down B long and just try to get one of these picks because he knows they're probably going to do the same thing. And there he goes, and a nice TP out. This is perfect. That is exactly what they wanted. I love that play from them. I think if you're Fuel, you just got to keep going A. I mean, it worked a ton. Yes, they did stop you, but did they really? They kind of got lucky at the end there. And now it is a 4v3, a 3v3. I mean, you know where they're coming from. You got to get these picks if you're Fuel. Get these kills, and nicely done on the backside there. Dre coming in clutch as he always does.
1 CT as both Dre and Aiden go towards here to cover this play. Dre swings out really aggressive though. Maybe they didn't actually know where Pressure K was going to be coming from. It's a 1 versus 1. It's Woody versus Divinity here. But Woody will have to rotate over towards B. Will get the plant down. Will be able to have time as Divinity is going to be just a little bit too late here. However, he does have his TP, I believe, set up over towards B site. And he has his trip over in hookah. Play this one. Woody has the ult though. She can just play tap.
Too. 1 smoke as well. I mean, I really like this for both sides. I can see both of them coming out with a win here. Woody really needs to be hitting her shots here. And I mean, you're going to see him right away. And does not get it, unfortunately. I mean, I spoke about it before that Woody has just kind of been missing the mark a little bit there. I mean, she's kicking herself there, but that is okay. I'm sure the team is lifting her up. That's all right. I mean, we can come back. They lost the last defenders one, or they lost the last attacking one. They can get it back on the defensive side here. It's okay. It is okay. It is not one person's fault on the team, right? Everyone else went down. A 1v1 is a 1v1 at the end of the day.
But that one's definitely a heartbreaker there, right?
It's tough.
You have the knife out, right? Does the jump, and then he grabs out his gun in time, gets that 1 tap, gets that headshot. And now George Washington, they're right back within 1, right? They're in that winning spot right now. Fuel have to find success on their defense yet again here. As the side of George Washington, they're 5 stacked inside of B main here. They're just looking to push through hookah as quickly as possible. Divinity goes over towards, B long. We'll meet up with SEO, who will have that operator still, right? He's found a lot of the early picks, found the success. Dre throws, has to find some contact here. SEO does get the better of Divinity. Dre finds 2. Yorgi who will get the trade, but a large amount of damage done here from the B site players of Fuel. SEO finds his 1. Dre finds 2, but Kutch and Yorki who find the trades, and now it's a 2 versus 1. It's Woody and Chunky, and it's Woody yet again in a 1v1. It's the Brims left alone. Yorgi who has no health to play with, 30 through health and a dream. Woody goes towards elbow.
I mean, needs to get the spike and knows where it is. Woody sees them again, but just can't get a pick there. Woody does also have her all, and nice kill there by Woody to make up for it before. She is very excited. I mean, everyone's going and giving some fist pumps over there. I love seeing that. I mean, talk about redemption. That is it right there. She's going around, giving a little jog around the fuel station. I love seeing that. I mean, beautiful job. I mean, she needs to still, buy some guns here, but great job. And honestly, I'm going to call it right now. Fuel wins the next 2 and they win overtime because I know that is going to happen. I mean, if Woody is in a good mood, right, everyone is going to be in a good mood. They're going to be cruising now. I feel it. I'm calling it right here, right now. They're winning the next 2. That was a big, morale thing for not only the team, but Woody, who, hasn't been playing amazing this game. So if you can get that, get that ego a little bit back up, I love seeing that.
Just plays aggressive, and they finally stop SEO, who's been so hard to deal with this op. He's been playing. It's really obvious where this op player is going to be playing, right? He's either going to be too long, or he's going to be eating in showers. And, the side of wanting to find that out. Aiden double dashes right into the waiting arms of Rosie Roses, as now it's a 3 versus 5 here. And, it's 3 versus 3 here on this B site. 2 players over towards A, but Fuel, they don't really know that. They're going to rotate towards B long here instead, but they will meet up with the operator of, of this Divinity here, who actually doesn't have the op. Never mind, he thought he would have picked it up, but he did not, as he sticks to the Phantom. He gets that info. Now all of George Washington know where Fuel is, but it looks like they're just going to play the TP.
Yeah, I mean, just gotta wait here. They're waiting slow. They're looking to see if someone is going to peek out, grab this alt orb, which I really like here, see if they can get anyone, but they are going to look to probably rotate over, I'm assuming. But either way, it's going to be tough. A little fake TP there, which I like, but I don't think it's going to fool anyone. I mean, there's no need to rotate in this spot, right? 3 people on B, 2 people on A for the side of George Washington. They can do this, though, because like you said, it's a 3v3, and then you just need to get the next wave, but you got to worry about that first one. A flash comes out.
Beautiful flash there from Rosie Roses. It's Woody in a 1 versus 3, but the time is just not in Fuel's favor here as Rosie Roses comes out of the smoke. Woody, though, a nice turn, but does she have the time? She's forced to forced to stick it there as Precious K walks on up, and George Washington yet again go up 15-14.
Nobody has won on attacker side.
I was so wrong, actually.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I was wrong. I thought that they were going to win 2 straight there. Unfortunately, they didn't. It's just that beginning, it comes out, and whoever kind of gets that first pick, I mean, we saw SEO go down with that op. Now, it's crucial for Fuel's success right now. He goes down. The other team kind of, like the rest of Fuel kind of follows behind, and, a 3v5 is tough. Is really tough. I mean, they won the 3v3 on that site, but then again, that second wave that I talked about comes in right away, and it's just the cleanup crew.
Very, very hard to deal with on that second, wave. As now Gray again inside of Hookah. Now he's been playing over towards the left mostly, so now he's on this side, and they don't actually understand, but he ends up getting the clone there. Blinds himself as Precious K lives with just a borderline of HP. Woody finds one, has to find another as Precious K does get the rotation, but SEO, nice trade here inside of Garden. Now he looks towards B long. He does not want to let any info, let any movement as he takes the TP right back towards Elbow. On the side of George Washington, they look to be rotating towards A site, but Fuel, they may have understood this. 2 players are moving over towards it. They're trusting an SEO to solo hold this B site as George Washington, they haven't really decided where they want to go, but it does seem to be A.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem to be A, and that, I don't know. I would rather go to B site, right? One more person there, but they're not sure of that, right? They're just going to push A. It seems like they've been pushing B a ton. Maybe try to switch up Fuel, keep them on their toes. Both of them just sitting together there, hoping, SEO comes around to help them once they hear footsteps. But it's a 3v3.
30 seconds left.
Fuel's back is against the wall. They need to win. This is a do or die. Nice pick there by Chunky.
Finds the one, and now Aiden knows. He knows that they came from A main, so he can now look out that way. Chunky finds his second, and it's a 1 versus 2 here. Post play for Kutch, who is going to have to play this one aggressive. He does not have the luxury of time. He swings out, he does find Aiden, and now it's a 1 versus 1. SEO has the op for that retake, has the op coming from Heaven, likely. Instead, looks like he's going to go towards A main as Kutch sits inside of U-Haul with this shorty.
Yeah, this shorty and this Phantom as well. But a nice play by Seo, just coming in with the pistol, that right click. Wow, just catching him so off guard there. I mean, sometimes when you look at something for too long, you get a bit comfortable, and I feel like he got a bit comfortable. And again, defenders win. Wow. Wow.
Want to make another bold prediction here that we can just for sure get proved wrong?
No, I don't. Yeah. I don't want to say anything. But I do want to see this end shortly. Honestly, just because I want to see a new map. I mean, we've seen the same strategies happen, and it seems like the same things are happening over and over and over again. I want to see something get mixed up, new characters. I want to see new dynamics. I want to see a new map. But first, we need to figure out who is going to win these 2 rounds in a row.
You know, another thing, right? Neither team has actually pulled out their, because, you know, when OT happens, you get a reset on your timeouts, right? So neither team pulling out these OT timeouts. They're just trusting in their players, right? The coach here is trusting that who can, you know, find the success as, you know, it's just, again, it's actually going to be a battle of who can get the first attack round here. It does seem like George Washington has been that little bit closer. However, Fuel has been very, very close time and time again, right? That clutch ended up going awry for the side of Woody. A couple other plays here and there as Fuel, they're back over towards Ace. It's a 2-3 split here from George Washington. Aiden does not have dash, does not have rewind, or he does not have his rewind. He's going to be, you know, forced play. Careful here as Precious K is holding very, very close here in showers, holding this tight angle, touch, holding the long, holding this cross. As Yorkie is going to re-smoke down over towards A main. As the side of Fuel, I mean, now you see Dre pushing really aggressively through Hookah, trying to fake as much, right? Throws that in that interceptor down, tries just get a little bit of, you know, noise over towards B site to try to force a movement from the side of George Washington. As it actually happened, 3 players of George Washington moved over towards his B site, but Precious K finds that first pick onto Aiden. Woody, nice trade. Yorkie Who as well. Chunky finds another. Fuel able to get this. Will not be able to get the plant down as the Teo nades come in time. And Fuel, they play the slip. They go this rotate. Now 2 players of George Washington are here, and Divinity is the first one, but SEO with the operator finds his pick. Kutch is here. He does not have the nade. He does have his drone, though, as he finds one, and Rosie Roses spams through Hookah, and he finds his other, as, again, George Washington take this defense round, and they take it again.
Oh my goodness. Just through the wall too there, as you saw. I mean, they knew they were planting. They calmed it to him where he was going to be planting, but just getting those wall bangs at the end there. Insane. I mean, that could determine the game because Fuel went with a different strategy there, which I liked. They're playing super slow. Kind of came back to bite them at the end there, right? They played really slow, and then time wasn't in their favor. They had to plant. They didn't want to plant. They had to. The time was too late. They pushed out super aggressive, went out and rotated, right? Even less time after that, and just weren't able to pick it up. And now Rosie Rowe is going to get that first kill. And a first blood usually kind of means a win in this game.
This is first blood for the attackers here. Rosie Roses finds the better of Chunky. That's most of your, you know, main initiator utility, most of your flashes, right? Your site clearing abilities are gone now as the plant's coming out. Aiden just looking to try to spam this one through, but he does not find it as the plant goes down. The post plant here for George Washington set up. Precious K gets tagged here as Woody finds Divinity. Aiden finds Rosie Roses, and now Fuel their man advantage here. Shoots that clone. SEO finds Precious K. It's a 2 versus 4 here as Aiden dashes in, gets picked off by Yorkie. Now throws the stim beacon down, but SEO holds that angle tight. But he does not know that Kutch is inside of U-Haul, who finds 3! And Kutch with the clutch to take Bind 17-15. Heartbreaker for Fuel.
Oh my god. That was insane. I mean, you got to give it to him. What a play there. This is what we were talking about before, you know, when Woody and Dre had intel and they shot a little too early, right? You just got to play super patient and wait till you know. I mean, head tap, and then a nice little body shot head tap to win there. A 1v3 clutch. Someone got it done, and it was George Washington. I talked about it before. How it's a 2v1, and Dre is going to get his plant off, and they kind of switch positions here, right? Oh my goodness.
What a one-tap there from Precious K. It's a 1 versus 1. The gun advantage in favor. First map, right? That's just our first map. We still got a whole series ahead of us. Fuel is very likely to take trouble. Precious K with that Guardian picks off Woody with the spam to the wall. The Waylay ult comes out here pretty possible, and then brought back. He's the one that really started the snowball for the side of George Washington, right? He's the reason why they started getting into this, right? He got that 4K, he got a 4K. I think he got 3 4Ks in a row. One was technically like a 5K, but it was because he killed his teammate.
Yeah.
But 3 4Ks in a row gets that momentum slowly building, right? You don't even have to get those rounds. You get those momentum, but we'll take a look at the maps because I actually don't think we ended up chatting about those. As, yeah, again, we see Bind ends up falling 17-15. Corrode is going to be our next map, seeing how both teams end up playing in Corrode. We have seen main team, we saw Fuel last season start to really find Corrode, come into their own on Corrode especially, right? And then Decider, if we do get there, will be that haven.
Yeah, I mean, Corrode actually, Fuel really enjoys Corrode. Now, I used to be not the biggest Corrode enjoyer, and then I watched a lot of Fuel gameplay, and I played with them a little bit as well on Corrode, and just kind of how they break down, each site is very, very intriguing, and I really like it, and they're a very good team on Corrode. I mean, Bind was their pick. They unfortunately didn't win, as we saw, but hopefully they can pull out the win on Corrode, but I believe we are going to be taking a little break before we see that Corrode, gameplay, that Corrode map, right? So, don't go anywhere, but we will have a little break, and after we'll have another map.
You won't want to miss it.
I would never miss it. Not for the world. This is crucial, and now it's a 2v1, and Dre is going to get this plant off, and they kind of switch positions here, right? Oh my goodness.
What a one-tap there from Precious K. It's a 1 versus 1. The gun advantage in the favor.
But, I mean, it just shows how this game can switch so quickly.
SEO in trouble here. Trouble. Precious K with that Guardian picks off Woody with the spam through the wall. The Waylay ult comes out here for the possible. Aiden drops back toward backside here. The dog fall. Throws that slow. Double dash through here, but he falls right in front of the Waylay. And he switches.
Yeah, I mean, if they do get
yeah, right, because it looks like George Washington had their number read. Like George Washington are in a hand. Players feel to go a little too deep, then they throw the Teo nades, right? They Trinity, no info whatsoever.
3, I think 2 now in a row, just getting momentum.
Find it. The ace on the side of George Washington.
Gets the next 2. You kind of starting to...
Hey, crucial trades here. That
George Washington is just looking for picks, doesn't even have the spike up yet. I mean, they're probably going to grab it in a second, but still just looking at... I mean, I said pros don't fake. You might want to fake this one, but...
Garden, he knows it's Garden. He has to be so careful. He gets up 12 to 11.
Yeah, 3 HP there.
Up here in Showers, pushing up really aggressive, trying to pick off
one of these picks because he knows they're probably going to do the same thing, and there he goes.
Go towards here to cover this play. Dre swings out really aggressive, though. Maybe they didn't actually know where pressure...
With that first one. A flash comes out.
Beautiful here as this comes out of the smoke. Woody,
nice.
though, Touch, who is going to have to play this one aggressive. He now throws the stim beacon down, but SEO holds that angle tight. But he does not know that Kutch is inside of U-Haul, who finds 3! And Kutch with the clutch to take Bind 17-15. Heartbreaker for Fuel.
Oh my god. That was insane. I mean, you got to give it to him. What a play there. This is what we were talking about before, when Woody and Dre had intel and they shot a little too early, right? You just got to play super, super patient and wait till you... This is crucial. And now it's a 2v1, and Dre is going to get this plant off, and they kind of switch positions here, right? Oh my goodness.
What a one-tap there from Precious K. It's a 1 versus 1. The gun advantage in the favor. I believe they're actually even. That's a phantom here for Chunky. The Precious K finds a 4, in that round, and will clutch it up. But that was a very, very successful bonus there for Fuel. They get 4 guns off the table, and they do a lot of damage there, almost winning that one. Precious K playing the 1v2 beautifully.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you saw right there at the end as well, he picked up a Phantom. A lot of people have been opting for a Phantom. I've been seeing a lot more this act now. I'm not sure if the meta switched a bit more to the Phantom, or if a lot of these players are just more comfortable with it and they kind of like it, but I'm kind of enjoying to see a lot more diverse. I feel like a lot of the times it was kind of like 8 out of the 10 players were usually having Vandals, and maybe like 1 or 2 would have a Phantom. I'm seeing it kind of more 50-50 or 60-40 even. So it's very interesting to see. But yeah, Fuel, although they lost that, they did very well and kind of got unlucky. A nice headshot, as we saw from Precious. I mean, very impressive to seal that clutch there at the end. But, I mean, it just shows how this game can switch so quickly.
SEO in trouble here. Seized up inside of that Teo nade, but Dre will find 2 trades there. Aiden finds 2 on the side. I mean, he just pushes through A main and picks off 2. And now, I mean, George Washington, it's Divinity who's been the B player, but he's just always a second too late on this rotate, right? Fuel, they just flood A. You've barely seen, I mean, you haven't seen a B player yet, right? It's exclusively been A because it hasn't really stopped working here for Fuel yet. As this post plant for Fuel, they're going to be playing, Woody playing close up towards CT, making sure that nothing can happen. Shots go a little wide, but Divinity will fall as Dre with that, that follow fire, with that, supporting fire, will pick up his third for the round.
I mean, Dre has been on fire, I'll tell you that much. I don't know how many kills he has, but it's got to be a plethora. It has so many. I mean, look at that right there. He's got 9
and
for
1
yeah,
here for Dre.
insane. Also, Chunky, again, he did this last week. He had 6 assists right there. He did this last week. He doesn't get a lot of kills, but he gets a ton of assists. That's what you need out of your initiators, right? He said that he kind of struggled with playing initiator. I think he's just struggling with the kill aspect, but he's doing his job correctly.
It's because, you know, when you come from that duelist background, right, you're expecting to get all those kills, right? You want to be able to, getting these frags. So when you're playing these more assist roles, right, it feels bad when you aren't getting those kills, but you don't necessarily need to get these kills to find success. Always set up your team. A nice recall there from Aiden. Sets up Rosie Roses in trouble. Precious K with that Guardian picks off Woody with the spam through the wall. The Waylay ult comes out here for Aiden. A double dash forward. Picks off 1. SEO finds 2 in the meantime. And now, again, it's just the Chamber. 1 second too late again. Fuel 4 on A site.
Yeah, I think this Chamber is going to need to rotate just right away to A. You can give up B. You know, if they do go up and end up rotating, that's okay, because you've given up A site the past 3 rounds, and it's just not possible to do that, because now you're looking at a 4v1, and he hasn't won it yet. He hasn't even got a pick, let alone win. I mean, great job. It's just, it's tough. They're kind of steamrolling them on A, and now I'm going to see if they kind of change up who stays at A, or if they rotate earlier, and it looks like Fuel is going to go for this B site push, which I really like. I was thinking the exact same thing, right? You kind of been to A a lot. Maybe let's put a few people B, but they're faking me out.
Nah, because you know what they think, right? The other team's thinking, okay, they've gone A 7 times. They must go B by now. But
yes,
Fuel, they're right back there. But George Washington has read this. You know, it's 4 players on A. Yet again, they've been playing this 4-1 stack. You know, as soon as you hear noise, Chamber just has to rotate. I think
he's looking to do a flank
here. He's looking to do the TP, but he has to be careful, right? Because you know, they will be able to hear this as Aiden does pick off Precious K. Aiden finds a second, and the Chamber is just, again, too late. He's now rotating through CT, but his team has already fallen, already had to give up so much pressure on the A site. The dog comes out. Aiden finds his 3rd for the round. Chunky keeps his team nice and healthy here. Molly towards CT. Yorgi does pick off 2, though, with that cross from U-Haul. You know, gets a nice swing out. SEO, though, finds the clean. And now it's this Chamber in a 3 versus 1 here. Does have, you know, that Headhunter if he wants it. But he's going to take this first contact here with SEO. As soon as the smoke fades, does he expect this? He's going to have to walk through it, though. And SEO just beautifully played there, sitting inside of that corner, making sure not to give up any space whatsoever, because if he falls, it doesn't really matter.
I mean, how many times have we seen that exact same circumstance? The past 4 rounds now, that Chamber is just by himself. They need to change something up, whether it's the personnel that's on A, maybe it's putting all 5 of them on A and kind of giving up B. Now they're looking to put 2 people on B so they can have a 2-person retake if they go A again. They just need to change up something.
Yeah, you can't be sitting these 4 stacks because you've been losing these first duels every time, right? Aiden or Dre has just been winning these first duels, have always got these first kills. Aiden in the showers has been honestly unstoppable so far. You do hear the ultimate from Chamber come out, does have that off. It's going to be quite an aggressive round here for the side of George Washington because they need to stop this bleeding, but Aiden again gets the better of the Waylay duel. Precious K falls, and it's a 4 versus 5 here for Fuel advantage. The Your ult comes through just to get as much info as humanly possible. Aiden drops back towards backside here, just trying to get as much spam off as possible. DeVrady's here. Does he know that Kutch is here as well, though? It does seem like he sniffed this one out, but he will get stunned up. Chunky does find Rosie Roses, but he gets traded. It's a 2 versus 3 here for George Washington, but the health, your sky's low. Plant will get naded out a little bit by Teo here. Chunky falls as well off of the splash damage from it, just sitting in the corner. 2 versus 2. But, you know, the side of George Washington, your Brim is low, but the Brim ult comes out, clears out as much space as possible. This duel inside of showers was crucial. Woody loses out, and now it's up to Dre, who pulls out his own ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be tough, though. It's a 2v1 and a nice pick there from Clutch through the smoke there. I mean, that was really tough. Woody knew where that player was, too. I think you got to get that kill. I mean, I love Woody. I'm always talking and hyping up Woody all the time. But that is just an unfortunate event. You need to get that kill. That's kind of the second time we've seen Woody kind of miss a little freebie there.
Have to get those kills for sure.
I agree. I mean, it's tough. A lot of assists, though. Again, Chunky and Woody are doing a lot of the assists. I mean, Deny and Dre are doing a lot of the kills as well. CO is now coming up on that as well. But if you want to keep this pressure up, you need to get those kills, especially when you know exactly where the enemy is and they don't know where you are. You can't have them flicking on you. You got to get that.
Aiden has this waylay ult again last time, right? He got so much value with it, and they love to just use these on those snap plays, right? Last time it was through showers. Now it's looking like it's going to be an A main. He does have his recall up.
Bring, 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 bring. Fuel wins calling. Hello. Okay, we're back. We are going to win. I believe it. We're playing on Corrode. They are already picking their agents, but George Washington, if you missed it, won that first round in a crazy 15-13 game. I mean, a crazy 1v3 clutch as well at the end. Overall, great job from both sides. I mean, if you're going to overtime, both teams are going to be playing fantastic. The players to look out for that we saw, map 1, Dre, obviously.
Yep.
Saya was playing great.
Aiden was playing fantastic, especially on that attack half.
And then Kutch was playing very well. And then also, I believe it was Precious as well.
Precious, yeah.
He was playing fantastic on the side of George Washington. So get familiar with those names. Amazing job just from everyone overall. But those are the standouts I would say to look for. Those are kind of the big difference makers. Those are your duelists. Those are the people that are getting in a lot of fights. But yeah.
We also saw, Divinity found those nice anti-clutches, right? Was always kind of almost always the one to stop the clutch.
Yep.
From the side of George Washington, as well as Yogi was like finding a lot of those picks on that brim. Rosie Rez has found some nice op picks as well. So and on the side of Fuel, right? Woody found a couple clutches, was always in those spots. And then also Chunky. Ow, I am really good at this. Chunky, was finding those really big picks, finding all those assists, really good util usage. Interesting to see how Corrode's going to go, right? It's a lot more of a lot more mid of heavy. Like, you're going to be playing around mid a lot, right? Mid is kind of crucial, right? Mid control is so crucial on this
Also
map.
rotations. I mean,
Yes.
we saw a lot of rotations already in bind, but Corrode is even bigger for that, I find as well, especially because you were saying there's a lot of mid play, which just means a lot of rotating sites going back and forth, especially when it's like 3v3s, 2v2s, 2v1s, things like that. You're going to see them switch to A all the way back to B, then all the way back to A because they're just trying to mix you up, get you looking at different angles because I think Corrode is a big map where if you kind of mess up slightly, you could just get picked off very easily. It's a very, like, if you get lost in something like that, you're going to get picked off because there's so many open areas and things like that. So you really need to be on your toes at all times. You can really get, it's so open. You can just get snuck up on so easily.
Yeah, and historically, I think so far this map has been pretty attacker-sided. It's also a map where the Odin is quite strong, right? We've seen that a lot, especially in Pro, right? I mean, Energy, they kind of made their name with this map, right? They had an undefeated streak on this map, so we'll see as we're heading in. This pistol round so crucial. So far, pistols 1-1, right? With Washington won. Both teams that were on attack actually ended up winning their pistols, so we'll see if Fuel starts on attack here. And his util already comes out, but Yorgi, who is on the Reyna and finds 2 here, Kutch as well finds 1. The Fade, the Reyna, and Fuel, they're already and on the back foot.
I mean, this map, we talked about how open it is, how mid-heavy it is. It all really comes down to your initiators. Both sides are going to be running Fades right now. And, it's just the best for this map. Also, another character that you don't see right now that I really like on this map is actually Viper. We're not going to see that, but we are going to see an Astra, and we're going to see a flawless win from the side of George Washington, just bringing that momentum over to the next round.
And pistols so crucial, right? Because this sets the tide, this sets the tone for the map to come. As George Washington, they're right back on that gas pedal. They're right back on, on that pressure from last map. They're not letting down any, they're keeping it up throughout the entirety so far of this half. As I'm interested to see how much value this Reyna can have, right? Reyna, more so of a solo queue character, right? Not really an agent you see in these comp matches, not really an agent you see often, in these, more team play oriented maps. More expecting, that Yoru and that Chamber here, both teams mirroring the Chamber. See if SEO can do that. Precious K, nice spam kills with this Bulldog. Finds 3. A transfer spray there to Dre from Aiden. Means that this 4-spy is going cleanly in the way of George Washington so far. SEO, though, has this Headhunter jump spot from Rosie Roses, forces out that smoke. As now, they're forced to play deep back here, right? Chunky and SEO far back inside of attacker's spawn here, as they'll be swinging into Precious K, who does get a little bit of info as well as SEO. They both trade info there. It's now trade, Precious K find a nice trick here, and he's looking for another ace, but Kutch will steal that one away from him.
Fair. I get it when, when you're solo queuing, you're playing ranked and whatnot, you got to just, you can let them get that ace. At that point, it doesn't matter if you get an ace. You get 4 kills, you get 3 kills, you get whatever, as long as you win, and, winning they are. I really like what you were saying about Reyna. I just want to touch on that again because I was thinking the exact same thing. Reyna, like you said, very solo queue heavy. Also, you see it a lot more in, lower ranks, especially, you see that gold, platinum, and, you talk about those plat Reynas that are always just kind of this, instant lock Reyna, and then they are awful, or they're very good because you can have so much of an impact by yourself. And I just really want to see how this Reyna plays, because when I see a Reyna come out, I'm thinking either, amazing or kind of a flop.
You're expecting a feast or famine, right? Very sure. Feast or famine type of pick here. It's honestly more crucial, even if you want that ace, right? The fact that they win a flawless force buy there means that they don't have to buy another item. They can keep this bonus now. They have the full guns that they're looking for on this bonus. Where Fuel, they're actually not full buy here, right? Aiden has that Stinger because they did invest a little bit in the last round. Now, 2 trades coming up from both teams, but it is Fuel in advantage. 3 versus 4 here. Woody finding that timing, gets around through to Kutch as they're onto A site. And it's a 1v3 retake with the Outlaw. It's going to be a 1-tap here for most players, and none of them are really going to have, likely not going to have full armor here. A lot of time, especially when you're to that bonuses, you will buy those light buys. You'll buy that light armor. See 1 there, so that was a light armor there for Woody. As now, it's not completely over from the side of Divinity, but because he had to shoot the dog, he does not have any aim in his pocket. He does see the corner of, SEO's arm there, but he just reacts a little bit too late, and by that time, Chunky can swing over and get the kill. And Fuel stop the bleeding as they win. They stop the bonus, they win their buy round, and now see if they can bring it to 2.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about some of my own personal experience, at least from what I've seen. when I can get a plant down in Corrode, my life is so much easier. We're seeing that right now. I mean, they were up 3-1, but being able to get that plant down is exactly what you need. That's what Corrode is all about. Being able to get on to that side just right away, and getting that plant, and then just being able to play post. Fantastic.
Yeah, we'll see as heading into the 4th round here. Rosie Roses is going to be buying a lot of time, uses that suck, uses that smoke, drops the Fade Dog, places down another star here, just buying so much time. The Concuss comes down, but the Teo mines, Teo nades do so much damage. Yorgi who finds one though with a nice little angle through this smoke as Ray will fall, and now that's a lot of your util down. The Haunt finds one as Woody Knights a headshot onto Yorgi, so it's a 1-for-1 here, but Fuel, their health is low, right? You see Chunky down extremely low. He will end up falling. SEO down to half. Now the Astra for Rosie Rose is low as well. Woody finds the timing. The flash is a little bit too late from the side of George Washington as the 3 versus 3 here, and Fuel have site control, right? Yeah, as you were saying on this attack, right? The hard part of attack is getting to site. Once you're on site on this map, it becomes a lot easier, especially once that plant down gives so much freedom. The Waylay ult comes down from the side of George Washington, and as he finds one, it's just Aiden left alone in this back corner here for a site. He will end up He has not fallen yet as the defuse comes down. Pros do not fake.
No, and especially if you have someone watching there. Great job by the side of George Washington. That is a perfect ult, especially if you can get an ult in the first few rounds when there's, limited people that are going to have ults to be able to counteract that. I really like that play. Great job. I mean, as you can see, Woody's the only one that has the ult right now on the side of Fuel, so just a good job using that ult, especially when other ones aren't on the board. That's what happens. We talked about names to look out for. I mean, they're all on the top of the list. Precious doing a great job on that Waylay. 9-1, being able to use that ultimate in the 3rd round is crucial. I mean, it completely won it right there. It was kind of a bit even, it was a 4v4, it was kind of a 4v3, but then using that ult just made it super easy. That 3v1 just happened in an instant. Great job by the side of George Washington, and now Fuel's going to look to push onto this B site instead.
Currently forced out heavily here by so much util, but Precious K picks up SEO and picks off Aiden, finds 2 as Kutch finds a spray through the smoke. A nice tag onto Chunky there as well through the smoke. I mean, lasers here through these Astra smokes. Really impossible for Fuel to play. Chunky gets tagged yet again as Precious K is holding deep here, and he finds his 3rd as Kutch finds 2. The dynamic duo of George Washington, right? Kutch and Precious K just finding all these kills in these early rounds.
I mean, another flawless, I believe, from the side of George Washington, which is, the 3rd we've already seen, right? And they're only 5 rounds in. Like I said, if you can't get that plant down, you're probably not winning the round. You're not usually going to be outgunning them, especially on Corrode. There's a lot of places you can go back and fall back on, especially if you're on the defensive end. Fuel just really needs, I think they kind of need to play with a bit more pace, a bit faster. They need to establish a site and then go straight towards it right away. And I think we might start seeing that, or maybe they're going to do the opposite and play just for picks again, because they're kind of mixing it up. They're going to one site but playing slow. I think if you're going to go for that site, you play super fast, super aggressive. And if you don't, then you play slow like this and just look for a pick and then decide.
Yeah, Fuel not deciding on either side, right? The spike is down over towards that B, kind of B lobby here. As Precious K finds SEO. Woody does find 1, but on the other side, I mean, Yorgi and Divinity found 2, and this is a full buy for Fuel, right? You saw SEO invest that ultimate. Fuel has all these items come out, but these Outlaw from Divinity is just a little bit better, as again, George Washington, the aim is in their favor in the map. Game plans are also just favoring them. Fuel just have not been able to respond to the speed and the aggression that George Washington has been taking in these plays.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like Fuel is kind of getting a bit shaken. I wonder if anything from last round is still kind of lingering in their head.
It's not uncommon for, something like that to happen from, especially when you lose in such a heartbreaking fashion, right? To a 3v1 clutch, especially, it's so many windows where you could have taken that OT, right? Or even taken the game prior. It's not a fun one to lose, but you do just kind of have to shake those off. That's the problem, you can't let yourself get bogged down by a single loss. They have to find their footing here. But at the same time, George Washington on the last map, right? They went down 6-2. starting, and then they ended up coming back. So maybe Fuel, trying to steal a book out of George Washington's
10
playbook.
seconds
Yeah,
left.
it would be the exact same as well because George Washington did pick this map as well, like we were talking about, and it looks like Dre is just going to be saving the Vandal here. I mean, they're already down. It looks like a pretty impossible win here. So he's just going to try to save. Hopefully he doesn't get picked off here in this last 2 seconds, but George Washington is just going to play it safe there. And, I mean, a little save by Dre, but it is 5-1 now. We can look back on some of the replays here. I mean, that is the only time they got that plant down, right, and they weren't able to capitalize. I mean, it's tough when you're down players. It really is.
It really is, but also a lot of these times, the rounds are just falling apart purely from just spam kills or just early picks, from either some util dump or just, again, I mean, so many spam kills have happened as Fuel call their timeout finally, right? They're looking to try to, figure out what's going wrong, right? The coach trying to figure out, something's up, right?
Yep.
You'll have to find their footing. This is kind of a must-win round. Credits are kind of in their favor, right? SEO didn't end up buying last time because he got the op.
Yep.
Dre saves when he only has about 350 credits, so that's at least 2 weapons you have in your pocket, right? In your arsenal. At least 2 full buys. We'll see if they can bring some sort of success from that.
I can imagine that the rest of the team is going to play off of that, right? I would say probably your 2 best gunners have the guns that they prefer, right? You got to play behind them, right? That is your kind of your leaders. If they are going to buy, you need to buy, even if it's a forced buy or not. You got to buy, and you need, like you were saying, you need this win right now. We talked about how last map, George Washington was down 6-2, right? If they let them get this point, it's going to be 6-1. Not amazing. George Washington did come back, but it went to overtime. They also got some lucky plays like we talked about. There was a lot of things that kind of went their way that they were able to do, right? We saw that Woody unfortunately couldn't clutch there. But it looks like we're going to see both sides full buying and already
full buy as much as they can, right? Aiden here is stuck with the Sheriff, and he seized out. He's stuck in a corner as Precious K will swing out, get that body shot, find that pick. And again, the first pick, the first blood has been drawn for the side of George Washington as they try to keep this one going. Fuel all kind of stuck inside of B lobby, inside of B main. They can't make any advancements. Mid has kind of been untouched from the side of Fuel, right? They haven't really looked to try to push up through mid. They've been looking through these main plays as they finally look to do this. I mean, A-Link is such a fantastic spot to be able to rotate through. Well, B-Link's also quite nice. However, you do see, Rosie Rose is going to be playing over towards screens, but Fuel will be able to get over towards A-Link. Divinity, though, has the op through this smoke, as this is going to be the real first test for Fuel is when the smoke fades, if they're able to find the pick. As Teo finds come out, but it doesn't matter. Divinity, fearless there, finds his shot. Precious K finds one, almost gets the transfer over to Dre, but Dre does find one as it's a 4 versus 2 retake here for Fuel as Woody caught with util in her hands. Yorgi who finds that as just Dre left alive. He has that Teo ult. He has that site clearing ultimate, but I don't think he can invest it in this type of spot, especially if he doesn't find the kill as Divinity holds tight to the op.
Yeah, there's no way he's going to use an ult there. I mean, it's just him by himself. And A is a really tough spot. There's a lot of places you can be hiding like we talked about and just push back onto. Fuel really just needs to get these picks, right? You can't keep getting down in numbers every single round. I mean, you saw it there. Divinity got a kill with the op through the smoke, and then Woody got caught with the util out. That's 2 times in just that one round alone where they're kind of handing them these kills, right? I mean, through the smoke is one thing, but they peeked out. There's a bunch of you just standing in there. You probably know an op is lurking around the map, right? They've been using it most of the game. It's just these simple little mistakes that are slowly adding up, and it looks like they're going to be using the second Waylay ult, which I really like out of the side of George Washington.
2 Waylay ults in 7 rounds here. I mean, Precious K, 15-3 so far, right? That is 5 times as many kills as deaths. You have to shut down Precious K for Fuel here as they look to swing out. Aiden beats out on Yorgi, who there finally gets a first pick for the side of Fuel. The clutch is there to trade it out. Precious K is playing very aggressive, loses the ability to take that rewind, but they don't really care. They stand fearless as they find another 2. And now, 2 versus 3, Fuel, there's a little bit of hope here. Chunky looks for that seize. Fuel had 4 ults going into this round, and the spike is back over towards, B. And you might be careful. Precious K may be even able to stop them from being able to grab this. Chunky going to have to win this trade onto Rosie Roses. Does find a little bit of a tag, but it's just going to be a leg shot as it's not going to be enough damage. Fuel, it's so hard to get to this spike.
Yeah, it is, but I believe that
30
they
seconds
can
left.
win this, and it's going to be crucial. Like we said before, it was a 6v2 when George Washington came back. A 7-1, not my favorite thing in the world. I mean, even a 6-2 isn't my favorite thing in the world, especially if you're winning these close games. I don't think Fuel has ever really been up a man, and now they know where they are. It's this intel that George Washington keeps getting.
Time is just entirely in George Washington's favor. 7 seconds remain as Chunky has to get the plant down, but the spike has fallen on SEO's body. Precious K finds another 3 for the round and stops that. I mean, he does a spot, he sees both, and he just plays back. He knows he doesn't have to play too aggressive. He can put the brakes on. He can back off play because the time is just in their favor. 10 seconds and ticking down, and Fuel falter. They fall 7-1, 18-3.
Yeah, not amazing right now for the side of Fuel. Like you said, 18-3 on the side of Precious. He's just doing a fantastic job of just keeping this rolling and not slowing down whatsoever. I mean, the only person on the side of George Washington that is in the negative is Rosie Rowe, but still, just probably not finding that footing. And also, you're smoked, not doing well. That's perfectly fine.
And assists, though.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of it, you know, is just the smokes, you know, getting those stims coming out, like those little stalls. But it's just going to be tough. Like, again, look already, as I was talking, someone went down on the side of Fuel, and there's another. Woody is going to follow suit.
Divinity got a pick with the off onto SEO. Woody falls next. Aiden, a nice, tempted clone play there with the flash. Swings out, but he has a stinger, so he doesn't really have the weaponry. Chunky finds one. The Precious K finds the other in Divinity. Off to Dre's heart. Will stop Fuel yet again. 8-1 lead here for George Washington.
I mean, you can see it in their faces and in their eyes, other than Dre. Dre's smiling. But it's just tough. I mean, look at Chunky. He's looking down. I mean, he just joined the team. This is his second time playing with them. They won pretty handily last week. This week, it's not going in their favor. You know, you can see they're kind of in a struggle. But this is what needs to happen, right? If you're going to be able to grow, you got to go through this rough patch, right? You got to go through these lows, because what happens when you're at these lows is also what happens when you're at these highs. Can you stay consistent throughout all of it, right? If you're winning, can you keep the mental and morale up? If you're losing, can it be at the exact same spot, right? And that's what Fuel is getting tested at right now. Can they start bringing this back just one win at a time, right? Let's bring this to 8-4 before the half ends, or maybe 9-3. Just let's start with one. Let's get a plant down. Even if we don't win, we got a plant down, right? You got to just be thinking about that right now.
Precious K. Aiden gets the better of Precious K. I think it's the first duel Precious K lost in this map so far as Fuel. However, on the other side, you still get traded out, right? You do see SEO get traded out. Divinity still has this op. He has not let go of it for about 5 rounds now, I think. As it is an even fight here. Fuel, they have pushed into A main. They're already pushing through. Clutch, though, just lets people pass. Gets the better of Aiden. It's Dre with the op. It's going to be an op versus op duel here, but Divinity is going to get the better of him. As 3 versus 2, Chunky looks to get the plant down. It's just a fake. It's just a tap. Rosie Roses picks off Woody, and it's a 1 versus 3 here. Chunky has to make a miracle happen.
And hey, I believe, but it's going to be very tough. And also with a Guardian, I believe, it's just, yeah, it's pretty impossible, especially when they know your positioning. But at least Fuel started off that match a little bit better, right? They started off, not falling in numbers right away, right? They were able to play with the same amount of numbers. They just couldn't get those picks, right? They lost that op, the op v op. They lost it. That's not what you want to see out of the side. Right here, we can see, I mean, just walking right in front of him. He doesn't peek that corner like Aiden. I get it, you don't think anyone's there, but we really just got to be checking these corners, or someone's going to be following up behind him right away to get that, and we're just not able to.
Maybe he just thinks, they would have shot the clone, but...
But, I mean, it's pretty, unfortunately, it looked a little too obvious.
Pretty obvious that one's a clone.
And
yeah,
another
right.
one through the wall there, and oh my
Clutch
goodness.
And Precious K. I mean, Precious K double dashes in, gets a pick with the shorty, and gets another kill with the Vandal. A 3rd for them in this round as Clutch gets another kill as well. And 10 is on the horizon. This looks like it's going to be a 10-1. This looks like it's going to be an 11-1 half of this break.
Yeah, I mean, that's the 4th flawless we've seen from just this side alone. And they kind of called him out. George Washington feeling good. They know that they're up money. They know their eco is good. They're just going to go mid. They kind of knew Fuel was going to be pushing mid. I mean, Aiden smiling, Dre's, everyone's smiling. Someone must have made a funny little joke. But, I mean, it's just tough. Like, when they're like, let's go mid, right? George Washington all that util, all that outgunman, just straight through mid. I mean, it's really tough to come back from there, unfortunately. And now, like you said, 10-1. Can Fuel just get this one to push them into the next part, right?
As far as Fuel's concerned, right, you have a little bit of hope because George Washington really only one player is fragging, right? If you can stop Precious K, maybe you have some hope. As well, again, I feel like this is pretty clear. This map is quite, here it does look to be a bit more defender-sided, but it's also just Washington out-aiming. As soon as I say if we shut down one player, Kutch finds 3, as now it's a 2 versus 1 here for SEO, who I think found his first for the map in that play, but a 4K for Kutch. So, even if you take down Precious K, Kutch is right there waiting in the wings. Fuel, they have to win this pistol if they want any hope.
100%. I mean, they have to win this pistol, and then the next, and then the next, and then the next. But like you said, it starts with this pistol round, right? Take a deep breath, recuperate. I know you're playing the same team, but you are playing on a different side. Now you are the ones defending. Now, if you believe that this is a more defensive-sided map, maybe Fuel thinks that maybe we play really well defensive on it, that's great for them. I do 100% agree. I think this is a bit more offense-oriented. I think it's about 50-50-ish.
It does seem to be a lot more even, than we initially would have assumed. But
I do agree that if you can get that offense, because like we talked about, it's getting that post plant down. But Fuel planted 3 times, I think, or 2.
Believe, yeah.
And they were also outnumbered for 2 out of the 3. But right there, Trinity just showing why they are up 11-1.
Ray picks off Yorgi, who's here. This Reyna hasn't found too much value, but Kutch finds the better of Aiden, and now it's a 3 versus 4 yet again. George Washington have advantage, and they start to push through. Dre finds his second. Precious K falls. Chunky finds the Trinity, and Fuel with a man advantage for the first time in what feels like ages, but Kutch brings that right back to even. This 2v2 is crucial, and it's really going to be Chunky who's going to have this first. Has to win this duel here on Kutch. He's going to swing forward, gets both information. Kutch falls as Rosie Roses is going to fall as well, and Chunky brings Fuel that first. It starts.
Yeah, I mean, and a little 3K there. It's tough to feel, confident about that, right? You were up, and then they already brought it down to 2-on-2, and then Chunky had to clutch there a little bit at the end, get those 2 wins. It is a good win, but it's not a convincing win. You need to start getting these more convincing wins, showing that you are the better team, because if you have close games like that, eventually they're not going to fall into your favor, right?
Because if you remember, right, on George Washington's defense, their pistol was flawless, and then their bonus, or their force buy was flawless, right?
Yes.
So you have to have a little bit more convincing of wins if you want any hope to really, mount a comeback here. It's not impossible, right? We've seen 11-1 comebacks happen before, but with Precious K finding that first goal into Aiden, it's not going to be a good start.
No, not at all. And I mean, like you said, starts with 1. They did get their 1. Was it amazing? No, but Woody now makes it a 4v4.
Instantly traded out by Kutch. SEO, though, finds Kutch. And Precious K walks into the waiting arms of Dre, who will fall to Rosie Roses. It's now another 2 versus 2. As Chunky is going to be the first one here, and he wins another crucial duel. As Chunky keeping them alive in this one.
Yeah, he's really clutch for this, and nicely done there. Chunky pulling his weight and way more now. I feel like that back is getting a bit tired these last 2 rounds. Nicely done by him. I mean, these, like I talked about, these initiators are going to be crucial on this map, and I meant for intel, not for kills. But we're seeing kills. Chunky's just got 5 kills in the last 2 rounds, which is almost double. It's actually double than what he got in the whole first half to begin with, which is crazy. He's sitting at 9 and 10 right now, the highest on the Fuel's leaderboard.
Closest to being positive at this point.
But good job by them. They did, again, get that win. Again, a close one, but they did win, and now they're able to buy a little bit more. Are they going to full buy? Doesn't seem like they are. They want to get a lot of util, which I like. The more util you can use, especially on the defensive side, the easier your life is going to be, especially with these guns.
Precious K plays super aggressive, finds themselves right in front of Chunky, but just takes that rewind back. This is why Waylay is so strong on this map, right? Easily entry. The Yoru has some value, but it hasn't found the same amount. Chunky finds 1, but 3 of his teammates have fallen, including himself, as it's now a 2 versus 3. Fuel forced to clutch on this retake.
Like you were saying about the Waylay, I believe this is the Waylay map, and a nice job by Aiden. He's showing that Yoro can also thrive on this map. I mean, just playing with your teams there. That's what we were talking about, the util. if you can get enough util, you're able to make this so much easier for you, especially when you're on the defensive side. Now, Rosie Rowe is going to try to come up with a little sneak attack here, which I like. If they keep going with this, they're going to find a pick, and they do. 8 HP and a dream. That bomb, though, is still down on the middle of site, and I'm hoping that Fuel knows that.
It's a one-tap headshot.
And you're
Take this one, but Dre plays it beautifully. Make sure not to cover that drop because he knows where Rosie Rose has to be. Finds that kill and brings Fuel their 3rd in a row.
Yeah, I mean, you saw right there in that replay, Chunky just getting that one. Chunky has been the deciding factor. I mean, Aiden with a lot of the flashy kills there, but if Chunky doesn't get that, right, it's not going to be a 2v1. They're probably losing that. Chunky has just been rock solid these past 3 matches. He's slowly getting them within, you know, without not winning, but maybe a bit more positive light, right? He's just showing that there is hope there's a light at the end of the tunnel. There is hope, right? We can do this. The power of
well, you see in the faces, right? Smiles more morale seems to be up because they found, you know, 3 rounds in a row. Their defense here playing very, very strong. Precious K just rewinds all the way right back to B main. Just forces out that util from Fuel. Only invest, you know, 2 of their own. Now they'll be able to, you know, set up a little bit nicer, as a lot of this defensive util has been used by Fuel here. That's the value of the Waylay on these entries, right? There's a lot what Jet used to do, but you can go back, right? The crucial thing is you can go in, but then immediately rewind. Fuel, such a strong ability. Precious K. Now, this Teo mine, these Teo grenades. Smoke comes out yet again, but the side of George Washington have walked through. They've walked through this archway as the Nightfall comes out. 1 falls. Gabrinity finds 2. Yorgi who finds another, as 3 members of Fuel have fallen instantaneously to that Nightfall, as they're going to have to find another clutch, but Dre is 1 tag away. As he gets tagged through that smoke, Aiden has to find a lot here on this flank, but he does not find it as Kutch finds 1, and Fuel, you know, their snowball stops early.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is not what you want to see on the side of Fuel, and you can't really save if you're Dre, because what's the point of saving? You can't lose another one after this. Excuse me, you're kind of need to kind of give it your all, but it looks like he is just going to sit back, kind of wait, but unfortunately, a flawless win for the side of George Washington. They've just shown that they are the better team, especially on for road, especially, I mean, Bind, it was very even, back and forth, big ups and big downs, but now George Washington up 12-4. They got their foot on the gas, and they are almost at their destination, which is a win. Just fantastic job by George Washington. I mean, you kind of just saw them flip the switch. I believe it was 11-7, and ever since then, they haven't really looked back. They've just been playing at a higher level than Fuel. I mean, Fuel's gotten wins, don't get me wrong. They got, you know, a lot of wins in overtime, and they got those 2 wins to make it go to overtime. But still, they've been looking like they've been playing catch-up this whole time.
It really does. It feels like, you know, George Washington had been dictating the tide, dictating the tone of the match, and Fuel had just been forced to respond. They really have not had, you know, any ability to set their own plans in motion. They're almost always just responding to whatever George Washington has been doing. As Chunky finds the pick on a Precious K, but Kutch, a nice trade there onto Aiden. Dre runs through, tries to get maybe a little bit of a cheeky run and gun with that Sheriff, but he will fall to a nice, you know, suck there from Rosie Roses. That gravitation is going to stop things as Chunky finds another, finds his 3rd for the round. Wow. SEO finds another, and SEO finds 2. And Fuel clutch up again off of the back of Chunky.
Nicely done, and Seo definitely coming in as well. Clutch there. Fantastic job. I mean, I love that. But we saw why Astra gets picked on this map. You know, Astra used to not get picked at all. I mean, on release, Astra was picked all the time. One of the best agents on release. You know, Chamber was up there as well. But then kind of got nerfed to the ground. You're starting to see Astra come back in different plays. I mean, Abyss isn't in the map pool, I believe, but Astra's can be very good on Abyss and as well as on Corrode, and you're seeing that right now. That gravitational pull was crucial there. If you know where they are, you can just hold them out, suck them out, you know, throwing those things, as well as you're working with your initiators as well. If you can do that, use those 2 utils together, it's just a perfect combination.
2 real reasons why Astra's come back, right? Because of the nerfs to Viper, and here Dre is just going to get flooded out. I mean, he tries to look for a little bit of a crouch play. You know, the nerfs to Viper were very crucial in giving her some more value, as well as, you know, Vito. Her util is impossible to stop from Vito.
Yeah.
Vito is not able to stop these stars, so it's something only true utility, and her recall of stars is one of the best smokes now, because smokes, a lot of them got nerfed, right? They got nerfed timing-wise or recharge-wise.
Yes.
These smokes are so crucial just to get you through that space, even just recalling that star. As Chunky and Rose gets some trade, Aiden wins another one for Fuel as they bring themselves up to 6.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, a lot of the nerfs kind of just show, like, if you're not getting nerfed and then everyone else is, you're just going to, move up in that tier list, move up in that player select percentage, right? More people are going to start looking for you to be able to play as you. And Astra is just one of those agents that's starting to get picked a lot more, and you're seeing why. But also another main reason on why Astra wasn't picked is just how complicated the character is. You talked about being able to bring back those stars and being able to use all these things. That's very complicated, especially someone, even if you've been playing for a long time, if you've been playing smokes a lot, Woody plays a lot of the control, a lot of the smokes. I've never seen Woody pull out an Astra, probably because she's never practiced it. And it's not something you can just pull out based on a map like a Brim, right? A Brim, is a lot easier, Same with kind of a Breach. Like those characters you're able to kind of pull out, not Astra.
Aiden plays a little bit too far forward. The tail ult comes out from Drake just to push George Washington back, stop their advance over towards A site, as it was a little bit weaker, right? Because Aiden had fallen. Too Precious K there, playing a little aggressive. The guns are going to be in favor of Fuel here, right? It's a full sheriffs from the side of George Washington, but that doesn't mean it's impossible to win. You've already seen them take one out, as SEO here holding toward, holding that B link, making sure the player from mid cannot, find too much aggression. But Yorgi, who will pick off Woody, who's looking to cross from A link towards that B site, which now means, A is a little bit weaker, but SEO from this top site, from top mid, from screens, will be able to pick off one. The 4 versus 3 here, as the side of George Washington, they're going toward B site, and the only player there for Fuel is going to be SEO.
Yeah, and again, he just has that off, which is, good for a pick. But it's not good to hold down a whole site by yourself. It can scare them a little bit, right? You're probably not wanting to beat that. But he's not going to be able to get everyone, and now he stalls for enough time to get his teammate to rotate and does get that one pick there. But Dre and now Chunky are going to just have to try to win this 2v3. Hey, if I want anyone to clutch up, it is Dre and Chunky, especially how Chunky's been playing right now. Great job. A nice grenade ult, and just can't get it.
That's going to be the Thrifty from the side of George Washington take the road 13-6 and take the series 2-0. Well, that first map, strong fight, but in the end, George Washington, they found their footing. They found the consistency just a little bit better. And then on this map, defense just went the way of George Washington. Fuel, they started to fight back on their own defense, but when you're down by 11, it's just so hard to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, 2 wins is almost inevitable at that point, right? Especially when you win 11. Even if they start winning, let's say Fuel even won like 6 rounds in a row, you just need to win 2, right? They're climbing this uphill battle, and you're sitting at the top watching them, and you're just kind of kicking little rocks down. And eventually, you're gonna hit one of them, right? You're gonna hit them as they climb up, and that they did. And now they take the lead. I mean, we can see right here they won 17-15. And 13-6 very convincingly on this corrode. That's why they wanted to pick it. Now, I don't know about you, but I really wanted to see that Haven pick, though.
Yeah, Haven, especially with both these teams, how their defense has been so strong. And, some of the times, there's like for Bind, right, it was all attack. For corrode, it was all defense. Haven is a map that's quite attacker-sided because of those 3 sites. I'd love to see, the adaptation that would come up from both these teams, because they really seem to be adapting on the fly. You saw it later into Bind, especially, right? Early on, it was very, very stagnant plays. It was the same play on the towards A site, but as we got towards those later rounds, you really started to see George Washington, take those late rotates, play these a little bit slower. Fuel as well would start to, change up their game plan. So I would have loved to see that Haven, but unfortunately, we will not be able to see that, as George Washington will be taking the 2-0 victory.
Yeah, they are. But we are going to be showing our schedule if we have it up in a second, but maybe that'll be in a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see. Not sure, if we'll be able, as we'll take a look at the schedule for the rest of this week. Now. There we are. So tomorrow we'll be having some COD action. Thursday, Rocket League. Friday, we'll see. Maybe some more Rocket League. Not entirely sure what's going on there. May have had a reschedule. And then I'll be finishing off our week, as we'll be heading into reading week for the side for Fuel. Not sure entirely what we're going to be doing. I don't believe we will be having streams heading into next week.
Yes, we are.
We'll see.
Yeah, we are going to be throwing it to a quick little break, because we are going to hopefully try to see if we can get an interview from one of them. So stay tuned, and we will be back shortly.
Don't go anywhere.
Welcome to the Fuel Station, an FSU server that's open to all Fanshawe students and offers a wide selection of content and games. In the Fuel Station, people can play a variety of games such as Valorant, League of Legends, Super Smash Bros, and many more. The Fuel Station is open at J2018, 10 to 10 on weekdays, and some days could be closed for early private use for Fuel Esports matches and broadcasts. If you want to know more about Fuel Esports, check out our socials, or just come to the room and check things out for yourself. Welcome to the Fuel Station, an FSU server that's open to all Fanshawe students and offers a wide selection of content. Welcome to the Fuel Station, an FSU server that's open to all Fanshawe students and offers a wide selection of content and games. In the Fuel Station, people can play a variety of games such as Valorant, League of Legends, Super Smash Bros, and many more. The Fuel Station is open at J2018, 10 to 10 on weekdays, and some days could be closed for early private use for Fuel Esports matches and broadcasts. If you want to know more about Fuel Esports, check out our socials, or just come to the room and check things out. Welcome to the Fuel Station. Welcome to the Fuel Station, an FSU server that's open to all Fanshawe students and offers a wide selection of content and games. In the Fuel Station, people can play a variety. Welcome to the Fuel Station, an FSU server that's open to all Fanshawe students and offers a wide selection of content and games. In the Fuel Station, people can play a variety of games.
And we are back. We have a awesome little interview from Aiden here. Run me through how you were feeling. Unfortunately, I don't want to bring it back up, but you guys went down a little bit on Corrode, but then you did start getting on a roll at the end. Unfortunately, you couldn't pull out the comeback. But what kind of started that little snowball effect to start getting a few wins at the end there?
Honestly, we felt a little lost in the Corrode because we don't have it was their pick.
Yep.
And we weren't really sure if they were either gonna pick that or like bind because It's just like it's their map pick, and it was in the beginning with the mid play, their mid plays. Yeah, that was really scary.
Yes, yeah.
So I don't know. I think at some point we just like, okay, let's just try something. And it worked for a while.
Yeah, try something new, just switch it up, right?
Mhm.
Catch them off guard. I mean, I'm sure if you guys get a bit more used to Corrode and playing together, you know, you do have Chunky as a new player.
Mhm.
Corrode's not too commonly picked, so it is tough to, you know, play on that map. But, I mean, you guys did show flashes of greatness.
Yeah, and then, if we take it back to Bind, right?
Mm.
Especially on your guys' attack half, you're talking about changing the plan. Nah, screw that, right? Let's just keep going 4 people toward, or all 5 towards A site, because they won't respond. They'll just keep doing the
Yeah.
same 4-1 play. I mean, did you guys expect them to at least respond at one point?
At least for the for our A pushes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we that's why we went B, but like for some reason they just never did anything like, at least for me, significant in
Yeah.
A.
You guys were just feasting, especially in, like, showers as well. Like, I mean, you guys were
Yeah.
just getting every single pick. And I kept saying, like, they're doing the exact same thing with the exact same people, and they never changed it.
Mhm.
And, you know, it worked out. Unfortunately, you know, you guys lost in that overtime, but you guys still played very well. Now, my question is a bit more fun, but who do you think, who is your favorite character to play, and who is your least favorite character to play? And, like, who do you just,
Ooh.
I'm never going to play that character, even if it's, like, the best character. Like, they get buffed crazy and they need to be picked, but you still won't play them.
Never is Astra.
Okay, see, I was talking about this.
I can't stand the gameplay. It feels like I'm playing not Valorant. I feel like I'm playing a League of Legends.
Yeah.
I'm looking over the map and stuff. I think it's just weird. Like Omen
Peak
is
mention.
okay, but like
Yeah.
You
What
know.
about your favorite, though? Your favorite character to play?
favorite
or
is
agent?
hard because like Jet's like a classic,
Yeah.
but like I don't even play Jet anymore. uh,
Came in as a Jet 1 trick, now no
mhm.
Jet.
Now I play Waylay.
Yep.
I mean,
Somehow.
better Jet, I'd argue, at this point.
For
And it
sure.
does everything Jet wants to do, but
And then has the recall.
yeah, the recall is just,
Yeah.
I mean, you saw so much success from it, from both you and
And
from
Chunky.
their ULA player, right? Which is the amount of times you can just go in, burn all of their util, and then just leave.
And just leave. Mhm.
No. I guess, I'll talk, well, here's a fun question. I'll go,
Mm.
what do you think ended up, causing, or I guess, going back to Bind, right? Because I feel like it's a little bit harder to talk about Corrode,
Mm.
because really, their Waylay kind of just shot the gun really well on attack
Mhm.
or on defense. Like, it's just kind of hard to deal when the
Mhm.
guy is like, what, I think 26-4 at some point. So,
I don't even know.
but going back towards Bind, what do you think? Because you guys really had a hard lead. What do you think ended up changing that started to slowly falter? Was there a really big thing that ended up happening? Did you guys start to get a little bit too comfortable? What do you think ended up
Mm.
causing that fall?
I feel like in the beginning we had like so much structure, right? But the thing is, right, we haven't been playing that much like together. We've had like a few scrims, I guess, but like just competitive play isn't like rank where you can like kind of just like do whatever you want, or like in the middle of the round when it's quiet. But like in competitive play, it's like it's those quiet moments are really important, because like even just like accidentally not shifting on the way, like rotating, right?
Yep.
They hear that and they're like, okay, that guy's gone,
Yeah.
and we can hit this easy.
Yeah. No, just the small mistakes, you know, add up, especially, you know, everyone's up way more on alert. So being able to even just get, like, I find if you can just get 2 kills,
Mhm.
just someone on your team gets 2 kills, usually you're able to be a lot more patient. You just get up
Mhm.
one guy. You know, in rank play, like you're saying in ranked, you know, you're up a player that doesn't really mean a whole lot. But when you're up
Mhm.
in these matches, if it's like 4-3,
Mm-hmm.
you're very favored to win,
Yeah.
especially, and you know, it depends on a positioning, gunning, and like util, but overall, yeah. So yeah, but I believe that's everything we
Yeah.
have for you. So
Oh,
Yeah.
thank
you
you for
very
having
much
me.
for joining us, Aiden. As we already take a look at the schedule before that, I think we'll just do our why not? Let's throw it back. We'll see tomorrow again, right? We're gonna be having some COD. Thursday Rocket League, and then Friday, and then the rest of the week we're not entirely sure. As thank you very much for joining us. Make sure you follow all of our socials, Fanshaw Fuel everywhere, to keep up to date with our next streams, when you'll be seeing all of our teams, seeing us casting again. Maybe you'll be seeing Aiden again. But with that, I mean, thank you very much for joining us. I've been Newt.
I've been Elson, and catch me tomorrow on some Call of Duty. You won't want to miss it. Thank you so much for watching.